actively defend ourselves. So if you're going to like hold Trump to this standard where we can't have any sort of, oh, he could have meant it a different way interpretation of him because he's a politician that we need to have higher expectations of, well, then I'm going to have those expectations of AOC as well. And I'm going to interpret what she said as she said it.
Okay, so I'm going to assume then that you would answer my hypothetical that like, oh, you could assume, you'd probably assume that what I'm trying to say is like, oh, when I said like this guy was trying to kill me with the way that he was driving, you would be like, okay, well, he's probably not actually trying to kill you. He's just acting in a manner that would probably lead to your death if you're doing it. I'm assuming that you would have agreed to that.
If someone went into a courtroom and said this man who was drunk driving was actively trying to get me killed, I don't think that would hold up. I think they would
well,
say
now you've created a whole different context. I don't think AOC wasn't under oath in a courtroom. She was tweeting. Right?
Yes, but she's a politician, and like you have said many times, we need to hold them to a higher standard when they use their language. The implication that another politician
I've never said anything like
killed,
this kind of way, but if you want.
Oh, okay. So we can be super generous when interpreting Trump's words.
Yeah, we can actually. I'm totally okay with that. Do you think that my issue is that Trump made one stupid statement, or two stupid statements, or three stupid statements? My problem is that Trump has made hundreds of statements undermining the election, and more importantly, he's taken actions to undermine the election, and even more importantly, behind the scenes, he's worked to undermine the election. Do you think, Lauren, that my only problem with Trump is that he made one tweet that could be interpreted a couple different ways?
Do you think the only reason I think AOC is being hysterical and dramatic is because of one tweet from her? Of course not.
Is it intentional you always answer my questions with questions? Is that like a thing that you do?
Well, the conversation is about AOC, and you just gave a great opportunity for me to say, yeah, I agree with that. I agree it has to be a larger kind of umbrella analysis of someone's behavior before you come to a conclusion. And I think beyond just this, she's trying to get me killed tweet from AOC, she's also made other ridiculous, hysterical comments about the Capitol.
What? Okay, I'm not pushing you for a quote, but I'm like, just in general, like, what other things, like, what's another thing you think she said that's like ridiculous?
Like her thinking that the police officer that came to take her and evacuate her from the area was trying to set her up to be murdered by Capitol rioters.
Now, I'm not.
She was suspicious of him. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, hold on. So, I'm not going to do what you do to me and say quote me. But wasn't she just saying that when he showed up, she didn't know initially if she could trust him? I thought she said initially he didn't identify.
Yeah, she did. She thought that he might have been setting her up to get her.
Is that is that really that crazy to be like fearful in that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Carry on. I'm sorry for interrupting any point. Okay.
Hey, have a good one.
Okay. We need to make, neurologists need to make machines where I can just reverse the political parties and run it the same way, and I can see how their brain responds. I wish I could do it. I wish I could get people to do this. You were actually so fucking bad faith, man. True. That's me. Give me your hate. I love how many conservatives I have on my audience. YouTube chat is mad as fuck. Get mad. Stay mad. That's fine. In 6 months, you'll agree with me. It's okay. Take some time. Let it sit in your brain. Hate me a little bit, because that's how it always starts. It always starts, you fucking hate me. That's good. I want you to fucking hate me. Because what happens right now is every time I criticize conservatives, it's like, oh, he's so bad faith. Destiny's being so bad faith. And then when I criticize leftists, Destiny's based. He's totally right when he says that, like, irresponsible rhetoric leads to BLM riots. Irresponsible rhetoric like Berkeley, Kenosha, and Rittenhouse. And then every time I criticize, he's like, oh! But eventually, you're going to be like, you know what? This guy that constantly makes good faith criticisms of his side over and over and over again, maybe there's something to what he's saying about how absolutely fucking batshit insane the Republican Party is today. Maybe. It'll happen. Might not be today. Maybe 1 week from now. But in a few months, you'll be like, you know what? Man, maybe Donald Trump, the President of the United States, trying to undermine our election and having other people in Congress working with him to do that was actually historically really fucked up. Maybe one of the worst things to happen, probably since 9/11. I would say so. Easily. Maybe. Ooh, I'm real mad at this one. Maybe worse than that. Maybe Possibly. I think you can make arguments for it. I don't even think it would be that crazy of an argument that a sitting president would essentially try to reinstate himself after losing an election. Might actually be worse or more crazy than 9/11. Only reason it wasn't is because somehow, and I don't fucking know how, because I hate every fucking aspect of this country. I'm talking to Americans, not to Europeans. Fuck your shithole countries, okay? Somehow our U.S. institutions held up. Somehow other people in appointed positions, maybe that's the difference. Maybe that was the strongest argument for the Supreme Court lifetime appointments all along. Maybe people in appointed positions are just base. Even the most disgusting fucking people that I would never, ever, ever find myself agreeing with, like fucking William Barr. We read his whole profile on the New Yorker, the sword and shield of Donald Trump. That people like this, that Pence, the vice president, maybe that these people would be the ones at the end of the day to finally be like, you know what? Actually, Donald Trump, this is really fucked up. This was really fucked up. Maybe this isn't. Maybe this ain't it, Chief. Maybe this ain't it. That his own appointees across multiple intelligence agencies, that his own cabinet members, his own people are like, you know what? I think Trump is making a bad mistake right now. Maybe that's the ultimate rule, the ultimate argument against democracy. It's appointed people that save this at the end of the day. Because when motherfuckers' elections are on the line, when all these Republicans need to get reelected, they know where their bread is buttered, and that's with Trump fans. Fucking William Barr isn't fighting for a fucking election. Did he turn down? Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just a partisan hack, you know?
Love
I
of
just
my
My side
life.
something
Unlock the
just to
front
trigger
door,
you.
my angel. And my door is unlocked as well. So when you get here, you can jump into the cloud.
Let me just... Let's catch up on donuts. I have to chill, okay?
You have the exact time and place.
Yo, I'll give you another $10 if you let me come on and argue in favor of Prometheus. It's a good movie.
No.
It's wild that Lauren seems to think the big problem with 1/6 is AOC imperfect use of language on Twitter.
Actually.
Ooh. Oh, Vegetarian. Ooh, hello. You guys are.
When you corner
You guys
her to
are
place
right.
a reasonable
Bring
agreement,
it
she just
down.
sarcastically retreats to some bad faith version of what you're saying. You're gonna have to listen to the Trump Georgia phone call now.
I can't see these things.
You're trying so hard to defend the left here. Love you, brother, smiley face.
Did you speak with Sitch and Adam about TDS? Okay, here's like a thing. So now I've introduced this theory into the lexicon.
Destiny, I have watched you for 3 years. Big fan, but that was the most bad faith I've ever seen. Lauren unleashed the pure stars of English.
There's a thing that happened, and I don't know how to explain it yet, okay? Academics will still be poring over the evidence for years to come, okay? But there was a thing that was very real, okay, called Trump derangement syndrome, where every single possible thing that Trump did was reported on by the media, and people got unhinged, absolutely unhinged over it. It happened. I'll admit that, of course. Look at the fucking, how many new SNL skits do we need to see where Donald Trump is the president, right? We get it, Alec Baldwin. You do Donald Trump. No one cares. But there became a TDSS, where you had the Donald syndrome syndrome, where people were so desperate to look like they didn't have the Donald syndrome that they were like, oh no, like, actually a lot of the things he did weren't that bad at all. I think he wasn't even that far off of normal of like a president. Like, look at how unhinged I am. I'm not unhinged at all. I think a lot of the stuff that Donald Trump did, it wasn't even that bad. Like, it's like this weird world where you're so desperate to prove that you don't have TDS that you end up inevitably simping for Donald and giving him a pass on things that he absolutely never should have gotten a pass for. And I feel like a lot of the people that try to downplay the January 6th stuff are in that world. Where they're like, oh, well, you know, he just wanted to make sure the election results were valid. Like, that's it. And it's like, okay. Okay, sorry, let me just keep.
Been watching you for years. Still don't agree with you on a lot, but think you're an honest actor.
Thanks,
and
bud.
know you hold to your principles.
Riot equals terrorist attack now. Okay, listen.
Destiny. YouTube chat is mostly left-wing. Stop maligning us.
You had a riot at the Capitol building that was driven by our president saying that the election results were invalid. That is just so wild. I don't know. I wish I could make a Democrat do the same thing. Like, if Hillary Clinton was saying that the election results were invalid in the White House, while she had lost an election, I wish I can't play the other world for you. I want you to, maybe I need to record an ASMR tape of me talking about this so that you have dreams of it happening, and then when you wake up, you can tell me how you felt about it, right?
Ooh.
How did you feel when Donald Trump won in 2024 and Hillary
Devin
Clinton said the
Lands
election
followed me
results were
yesterday.
fake,
Oh my
and you
god.
march on the Capitol and take it
Oh
and then all the
my
people that were
God.
marching on the White House, half of them are like black, okay? Marching on the White House, screaming things.
I don't know which
in
one needs to be
Ebonics,
tagged
okay?
it first.
Breaking windows open, all right? Just like you saw them do in the LA riots, just like you saw them do in the BLM riots, just like you saw them do in Kenosha. What would you be feeling if other politicians like AOC and Rashid Tlaib and all of these the Justice Dems and Pelosi and Schumer, if they were behind Hillary going, yeah, this election was 100% fake? Do you know why I know how you would react? Because you still, to this day, cry about Russiagate when none of them even said half the shit you accuse them of saying. Pelosi, as none of these people were saying that like Russia rigged the vote count. They just said that they influenced it, which they did. You still fucking story out over that. Story out over that. If there would have been a violent attempted insurrection at the Capitol that was led by Hillary Clinton's rhetoric and cheerled by lawmakers in Congress, you would lose your mind. Oh, do you want to talk about your second favorite movie?
Okay. This is Hillary Clinton. No, it doesn't kill me because he knows he's the illegitimate president. I believe he understands that the many varying tactics they use, from voter suppression and voter purging to hacking to the false stories, he knows that there were just a bunch of different reasons why the election was that. That was Hillary Clinton, and I also happen to be in the violent protest that happened when he was nominated.
Awesome. So, one, I've read that exact Hillary Clinton. Oh, it's... Now I'm having
What?
One, none of that was even untrue. Two, we compared Hillary's actions to Trump's actions. Hillary conceded that
Trump was
night.
an illegitimate
Hillary
president?
conceded
Wait,
that
no.
night. Hillary conceded that night. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You
Yeah.
said all that was true. You think Trump was an illegitimate president that stole the election?
Insofar, wait, stole the election? Hold on, wait, read the quote. Read the whole quote again. 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 Read the whole quote. You're actually first of all, this was like, I'm pretty sure a couple years after the election. Number one. Number two, everything that followed afterwards was true. Number three, I would even go as far as to say, yeah, maybe Hillary Clinton was a little bit irresponsible in the illegitimate president part. But number four, none of that is even remotely close to the things that Trump has said and done behind closed doors. Would you acknowledge all of that?
All right. No.
Yeah, because you are
You're fucking
deranged.
wrong.
You are absolutely
You literally-
deranged.
listen,
I
I
hope
even
that you're
said-
doing a fundraiser for your next truck so that you can drive the next fucking Canadian convoy or whatever the fuck you want to do and go and celebrate your. I can't even believe. So your quote is from
don't think
a Hillary
Trump
Clinton
was a
book or
legitimate
interview
president?
2 years
You-
later after
you-
she's
hold
conceded the
on.
election
You
on that
are
night.
fucking Hassan fan tier. I thought you were better.
Oh
You're
my
like
God.
Raj tier.
Unbelievable.
Trump wasn't a legitimate president. He hacked the election.
You know what? I was wrong. You're more radical now than even Fuentes is now. You know what? I was even more wrong. It wasn't just past one. Even now, okay? You're farther to the right. But that's good. You're bumped up to rank 1 for my most conservative. Actually, I don't know. I need to go get Fuentes' thoughts on this. So,
sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait a second.
I'm
You do
leaving.
acknowledge.
I'm
You do
real
acknowledge
life.
that Hillary. Do you acknowledge that Hillary conceded that night?
If she conceded that night, then she
did.
conceded that night. It doesn't. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm just playing video games, okay? All right.
That's funny. Oh god, that was priceless on that. that infuriates the actual living fuck out of me when people do that. That's funny. He was able to dish it back. Oh, that was funny. That was priceless, actually.
Okay, let's catch up on donos. I had a $50 YouTube super chat. How was challenging the election unprecedented? Didn't the Dems challenge electors in 2016? Isn't Hillary still saying the election was stolen from her? Right was unprecedented, much like when Antifa and BLM tried to take the White House. So, Hillary conceded that night, number 1. Number 2, Antifa and BLM tried to take the White House. I'm trying to think of when Antifa and BLM... I know there was a group of feminists that tried to break into like a senator's office one time, which was sucked, but I don't remember the Dems challenging electors in 2016. Can you point to me that happening? Maybe that happened and I'm not aware of it, but I don't remember Democrats leading an election challenge process in the Senate like the Republicans tried to.
Andy. Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
Hold on, let me...
Didn't say Simon Says.
I wonder if AOC was killed. I wonder what kind of coping those people will get.
No senator did in 2016. Say something to see if Warren's question. I'm just gonna play.
Conservatives seem to struggle with thinking in terms of systems. Lauren can't see how these statements intersect to cost dancing. Like how to sell it. As someone who is center-right, it's frustrating that so many people on the right downplay or make excuses for January 6th.
Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
We need to have our own fortress archive.
Keep hating your life then, working class
Donating
Andy.
to unmute Danzamek. In YT chat. Destiny add this to the TED manifesto.
How many manifestos can we have going on?
She didn't concede that night, she waited the next day. In fact, she didn't even greet her audience that night. I didn't follow politics closely before Trump, but I remember specifically hearing Republicans strongly concerned about mail-in voting. We were always against it, and when it happened, we assumed foul play.
Cool. Thank you for the interesting fact on it.
Destiny Fortress Arc. Shuts down Prometheus enjoyers with an iron fist. Your arbitrary actions aren't grounded, brah. Very salient. Miami never wept. More conservatives coping. DGG is the way.
Damn, bro. I was like...
Do you guys ever make individual rooms for your dudes so that you can just like block them all up and look at their...
You realize she bakes concessions out of you, yeah? It is just clout sharking.
Yeah, is that what's going on?
Didn't say Simon Says.
Am I crazy? Are these cheetah kittens singing the first 5 notes of the song?
Didn't say Brittany. Simon says.
You're crazy. Oh wait. Wait, is that? I don't remember.
Trump only tired to commit treason once. Yahoo! Trump only tired to commit treason once. Yeah.
Wait, what is the song time?
You should talk to get a law about this, who very much disagrees with you and has been covering the conference.
Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
Something like
You know
that. Is that
what?
the song time?
I'm
I think,
gonna say
right?
it.
I don't
Centrists
think these guys
really
are
are
singing
the
it.
enlightened ones, and I'm tired of pretending they're not.
Keep hating your life then.
Hi buddy,
Some
been
crazy
watching
guy
for a
wants to
couple of
chat?
years now. Just found out you streamed though.
Why does President Sunday seem to think that I'm talking to him every single time I'm replying to him? Why does he actually think that I'm responding only to him? It's Zelda's Lullaby they're singing? My brain is fucking fried right now. Hold on, just... I can't even hear the notes. This I don't know. I don't know. Don't
Cheers.
care. I don't care. Play this. The answer is yes, always. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we played. Fuck. Fuck. It's that. Close enough. Okay. All right. I need to send these. I like have spent 2 hours. They could have all been doing shit, and they haven't done anything. I need fish oil.
Fuck.
Didn't say Simon says.
I need hot. No, I don't. I need gold.
Also, wasn't it a popular narrative leading up to the election that
hello.
Joy was going to pull some sneaky stuff and rig the election?
That who was gonna pull sneaky stuff and break the election?
Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
True.
There have been a lot of hot-headed accusations thrown out tonight. What the hell, man? I didn't do any of that weird shit you said I did. Unless it was cool. In that case, I did as hard as I did your mom. Booyah.
Why me, bro? What did I do? You're done. You're done. Who would be left? Okay, guess I'm going to the next one. Ooh, what
Okay.
are you?
Joe, get your official opinion on the Bing logs. Is that the logs that have like 7 trillion things? Wait, I actually killed this dude? Oh my god. I need to kill Gore Crusher. I wanted to, fuck, I was gonna talk about Wreckful Shit. My brain is
Rotting.
fucking... She bought these. I'm gonna eat all of them.
As you should. Meet every single one. Donde? I want to know how you are. Where are you? Yeah, I'm gonna go down here. Get some going a little bit, a little skiddly diddly 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 skiddy.
Don't worry. I'm right here. I'm here with you. I love you, baby. I love you so much. I'll always be with you. I'll never leave you. You mean so much to me. It's all going to be okay. I believe in you. Stay strong,
What the
baby.
fuck?
You can do it. I love you.
Where's the thing? There's a thing here. Apparently. Is it on the other side of the fucking mountain? What is, like... Where's the entrance to this fucking cave?
Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
I'm so confused right now. Is it over here? On this side, maybe? Is it on it is on this side? Got it. Oh my god, get him, touch him. Oh my god, I'm so fast. Literally the fastest. Generation Creations. Oh, hit me with another one, baby. I'm in it to win it. Okay, I see 2. The third one's there. Boom. Made it. Perfect time. Oh yeah, brother. Let's go, brother. Oh yeah, brother. I'm gonna fuck you, little guy. I'm gonna get you. Easy. Dunzo, baby. Dunzo. Alana Dida was her. I'm slow, so it finally got me. Slow as fuck.
Eurocock! 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 Eurocock!
Really?
Eurocock!
Is that what we're doing today?
Eurocock! 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 Eurocock!
You know what?
Eurocock.
I'm way more okay with this one than
Eurocock!
the fucking.
Eurocock!
Way better. Infinitely better.
Okay.
Keep hating your life then, working class Andy.
Okay, I guess I missed one, so I'm just gonna do another one. Swagger.
We need to,
It will all be okay, chat. Always know that you are loved and supported. You will be able to get through this. I believe in you. I know you have it in you to overcome everything. I love you and support you.
you can place, oh, you can place bets already. This site looks too complicated for me. What are the odds right now for Donald Trump? Or how do you even do this? I don't know how this site even fucking works. Oh, what about predicted? If predicted let me, I think I would put 850 on Donald Trump right now. People are saying I'm saying DeSantis.
This was
Is that
not
what I'm
worse.
saying?
Eurocock. I mean, it's annoying, but it's definitely not. L is just so fucking lame.
Also called the Don't Say Gay bill by its critics. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
L is actually just
DeSantis.
AIDS.
DeSantis.
It's pure AIDS.
DeSantis? DeSantis?
Cause like there'll be times where it's just Al, 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 and then the other ones where it's fucking yelling.
Put it on DeSantis.
Bloody fucking
I think
murder.
Trump will
L
win.
in your ear is just pure AIDS.
And I think
Just say
VT
it.
plus T equals VT plus VT
I think
asterisk T
DeSantis.
plus T
Oh, DeSantis.
equals T plus
DeSantis.
VT asterisk T VT plus T equals.
My inventory is full.
I think you
Are
can only do
just
850
fucking
per bet.
shitting me?
I should bet 850 on Trump winning the nomination.
Okay, I
and
need a.
850 on
There's
him
no
winning the
vendor. There's
election.
got.
DeSantis.
Is there an
There's
election
no
bet or?
Oh, I have a vendor. Come here, booba. I need a favor. Oh no, I need a favor, brother.
Biden resigned.
Clear it
in his
out.
first
Clear it out,
election.
buggo. Let's
That's
go. Let's run it.
Unless people are expecting him to resign for like Kamala Harris to step in and then her to run for
I
president.
don't know. I need to do anima because that's a fuck ton of shit.
Probably wait until the hearings are over. Why are you betting on Donald Trump? I think Donald Trump will run, and I think that a Republican president is going to win. Can you not? You can't bet on the presidential election. Oh, but the presidential is like fucking years away.
Destiny,
Yeah.
can you throw some lotion to your brother in the wall? My brother in Christ, I'm raw.
Oh, so even if I bet here, I would have to wait like 3 years or like 2 or 2 years.
It's a really pointless bet right
Predicted odds are trash. Use the other sites. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that almost every single site is probably pretty close for betting. Otherwise, arbitrage would be insane.
Hello, King. How are you?
What's
now.
up,
Oh,
bud?
it's Dan. Oh no, it's Dan.
Not much. We're talking about.
It's Dan.
I think Donald Trump's
Dan
gonna
the
win the
man.
next election, and I feel like the odds right now to bet on it would be good. I feel pretty
know what?
confident. Yeah, what?
I got a frisky one for you.
Go ahead.
This is rough because I'm worried about being wrong. You know what? Actually, I'm wrong all the time, so it's fine. People
True.
just don't pick up on it. I think Nikki Haley is going to end up being the nominee. I'm actually seriously thinking about putting $2 grand max.
I don't even know. Wait, Nikki Haley or Mickey Haley?
Nikki Haley.
Nikki, N as in Nigeria?
Yes, as in Nancy or
Yeah.
negative or.
Why Nigeria?
No, 0% chance. There's no shot.
She's a woman.
She's a she. Yeah, it would just not gonna happen for Republicans. No shot.
I think
she could be a VP candidate, but president, no. I'll bet you 1-to-1, $20 right now.
I'll take that. Sure.
Boom.
That's for sure.
There we go.
That's easy.
Okay. Wait. Are you saying that she'll try to she'll be a candidate, like she'll run, or
No,
she'll
I think
actually win
she'll-
the nomination?
I think she'll be the Republican nominee.
Oh yeah, no shot. No shot. That's the easiest $20. All right, we're good, guys. We're good for a while.
Oh yeah, that's
$20 that I've got coming in.
I'll set you straight.
Yeah, we're good, boys. Thank God. I was getting worried for a moment there. Wait, why do you think she is?
I just, you know what? Sometimes I have it in my gut. You know, I've had 2 gut feelings today, and this is one of them. You already know the other one, so. But yeah, just
Okay.
yeah.
What have you been up to? How you doing? You sound a little rough. You okay?
I have had an absolutely horrible week.
Damn.
Okay.
Sad.
Why is that?
Horrible. Because I've been sick as a
Oh,
dog.
haha! Get fucked. No,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Get fucked, loser. That's
Like
really
that.
mean. That's just really
Sick.
mean.
Anyways.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just wanted some like.
It was not good time, bro. I didn't sleep for I swear to God. Normally people say, oh, I didn't sleep for like 3 days. And you're like, okay, dude, you obviously slept because you'd be fucking, you couldn't handle that. But I didn't sleep for 3 days. I know what it's like not to sleep for 3 days. Not like these other kids who say they don't sleep for 3 days, but actually they sleep and they have little naps and they're up playing fucking Fortnite or whatever. No. I didn't sleep for 3 days. It was fucking miserable. I couldn't swallow. I mean, I could, and obviously I did, but it fucking was so painful. God pain when I was fucking swallowing, man. Just like the slightest amount of water and like, oh God, because I think I had a full-on ear and throat infection or something. It was just, oh boy, not a pleasant time. And of course you can't sleep, and then you get, there's just so much, honestly. And it's so bad you don't even notice that, like, oh, I'm coughing and I have a runny nose and everything else. You just are like, the worst part The worst part when you can't swallow without being in immense pain, you're never gonna. Why don't you take a real guess at what the worst part is?
I mean, I know I've had like really bad sore throats sometimes.
The worst part is you want to fucking swallow every 2 minutes.
Oh, sure.
Every 2 seconds.
Well, another really bad thing is when it's paired with a really bad cough, and you know there's a cough coming on, you have to do it. Every time you cough, it's like daggers in your throat. You can't stop. That's probably the
Oh my god, and you know that you're like, okay, I gotta swallow, so you fucking grab onto something and you squeeze with all your might, and you go and you do your little pathetic bitch boy fucking swallow, and at the end of it, nothing even. You have all this pain and you didn't even solve anything.
Yeah.
But I made it through, and I had a good sleep last night, though.
I'm glad for you. That's good.
And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of seems like you don't give a shit.
What am I supposed to say? You were sick? You're not sick anymore? I'm happy that you're not sick anymore.
I don't think you actually care that I was sick, or that I'm better. I think it's like, okay, these things neither affect me nor not affect me.
Yeah,
they are just things that are.
It doesn't really affect me that much, but you know,
What about if I told you I lost my fucking dick in a tragic motorcycle accident?
That really wouldn't affect me much. See,
I would have the same reaction to that right now. My life is completely different now.
It sounds kind of.
I'm Dickless Dan. That's all they're gonna call me.
Is it really that different? You have 2 kids. Like, you're pretty set. You're okay. Do you really need your dick, Dan?
Feel free to give yours up if you want.
I still need mine. I like using mine all the time. With your mom.
I do too.
Yeah. News going.
Anyways, it's fine. Alright. All your days.
So
of
we
not
out
giving
living life in the
people come
night,
back
pray
when
to
you
God,
want
and
sympathy
I
for
hope I
something.
don't
And you're gonna be
die.
like, you know what?
I'll be like,
God
actually,
knows,
you
and
kind
I
of
hope I
made this
do
whole
it too sometimes.
bed with all those Twitter posts, so sorry. That sucks, bro.
My whole
Should've been a little
fan
bit more
base will be like,
understanding.
yeah, Dan, true, get him. And you
Yeah,
will be
that is true.
the last soy. True.
It's like the last samurai, but it's like the last soy soldier.
Dickless Dan.
Absolutely. So I guess you haven't been up to anything fun lately then, huh?
4, 3,
Well, if you mean
2,
by no,
1.
I was gonna try and make some short
But
videos,
there's
but-
just shit, yeah.
Yeah, no, not too much. I think I might want to take like a 3 or 4 day trip with my wife and kids, like for something that'll be fun for the kids. Any suggestions?
No.
And hopefully, here's the important part: something that doesn't make me want to.
Keep hating your life then.
Right, so if you go and say,
Andy.
"Oh, Disney World, Disney, I love the Disney characters," like, you know, that's.
I think
not
Nathan
gonna
is
cut it for
going
me.
to come. I think Nathan is coming over for a week after I'm visiting at the end of this month. And I think he's going to come back. And I'm
Dispel.
pretty sure he's just going to sit and play Switch. Yeah, I'm a horrible person. Like, he's
Maybe-
addicted to video games.
Maybe I'll. Maybe I'll force people to go to camping. I feel like shit like that kids hate when you're doing it, but later on, like, you remember that forever. Like, I remember all the trips I'm pretty sure I fucking hated. when I
Oh,
was
I'm
young.
the exact opposite. I hate him and I still hate him. I just feel bad for my parents now.
Really?
Yep. I noticed that, like, because when I would visit my dad in, like, my late 20s, early 30s, he's like, hey, do you want to come and do something? Like, in my childhood, I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking do anything. You're fucking lame. I'd rather play video games. But now when he was like, oh, well, of course, my dad really wants to spend time with me. And I got that, it took until Nathan turned, like, 7 or 8, when he really didn't want to do things with me. I'm like, Nathan, do you want to go blah, blah, blah? And he's like, no, I want to play games. I'm like, well, fuck you, dude. Now I'm more sympathetic. I understand my dad. Like, oh, fuck, he just probably wanted me to spend time with him. But I still hated it as a kid. It was so fucking boring. I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm not gonna lie about it.
I think.
Do they like swimming? Can you go to like a water park?
Well, the issue is I kind of have a pool, so we do our share.
Well, but
of
like,
swimming.
have you ever been to like an actual water park thing before?
Yeah.
Like with all, like the huge slides, the water slides and everything.
There's one in I don't know. There's one in like fucking Winter Park.
Dan's like, we have a pool. I want to go to the water park. The water park at home. Dan's pool with him sitting with a fucking 6-pack of beer and fucking iguanas running around everywhere. Okay, Dan.
Well, no, there is no iguanas running. Just to be clear. Well, occasionally you see the tracks of what they once were. I very serious. I am back.
Dispel.
Anything exciting coming up, Tom? Are you in Warzone mode?
Fuck. Sorry, I'm into some very serious Rust activities lately. Are we adapted? I was molded into the high sense GPS life. Okay, so... Well, you tell me, what's news in your world?
Try to get an STD test today. Oh, you probably have like a general practitioner and all that, like a whole hospital thing.
Oh yeah, I get my STD test there all the time.
I don't know how to do anything like medically related. And I don't know if I'm like extra retarded or if it's actually...
No, you are. And actually, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You're fucking stupid for not having like a You're dumb. You're dumb. There's no
well,
like.
But like I move every year, so like am I gonna get like a new?
Stop fucking moving. Stop being so weird.
Well, it's Melina. She's a young buck or something. What? That we move every year because you want to go to new places. Yeah, that's right. She should. Yeah, but I try. So like I go online. So I Google like, okay, STD test Miami. So it's like, okay, well, what do I do to find an STD test? And then I find there's like a bunch of random sites like healthclinics.com or whatever. That's like, okay, I don't know. So I click one that doesn't have ad next to it. And then I'm like, okay, cool, let's see what we got. Now I click through and it's like, well, what test do you want? And it's like, okay, so I click like 7 different tests. These are, because I test for everything. All the blood tests. It's like, okay, let's do all this. And then it's like, okay, cool. Who do you want to pay for the test? And I get like 4 different lab providers. Like LabCorp, Quest Diagnostics, and we're like, okay, well, fuck it. I pick 2, or I pay it all through LabCorp. It's like, okay. Then LabCorp emails me, here's your like ticket for these labs. And then the health clinic's website is like, now you need to schedule an appointment. So it's like, we'll click the schedule appointment. So I click through and it's like, here's like 20 locations. I don't know what the fuck it is. So I click one, okay, cool. And I find one and now I'm good to go. Then so this morning, 9 a.m. sharp, I wake up at fucking 8:20 in the morning, damn. These are twilight hours. I drive to some fucking clinic, and when I get there, obviously having an appointment means nothing. So I'm sitting and waiting for 30 or 40 minutes. Then...
Say Simon Says.
Sorry. Then I get called in. When I get called in, the lady's like, oh, you need to print this out. I need a printed version of this ticket, even though it's got like a QR code and everything. I'm like, okay, well that seems pretty stupid, but okay. So I have to drive to a FedEx, 15 minutes away, get it printed out. I come back. Now, obviously, when I come back, I have to wait another 30 minutes. And then when I get in, then she says, oh, we can't do this test here because you got it registered through LabCorp instead of Quest Diagnostics.
Why did you go to Quest Diagnostics instead of LabCorp?
Well, I don't know, because when I went to the site to book the appointment, it just said pick a location, and I picked the location. I didn't know this location only did Quest Diagnostics. Why the fuck would it even give me that option for an appointment?
Rough start. It's alright.
Well, you gotta pay. Sounds like you didn't do the fine print.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's hella complicated. So then I try to go to a LabCorp place attached to a Walgreens, and I sit there, and no one shows up for 15 minutes, and then everybody's like shouting and mad. I'm like, well, fuck this.
Fine,
then I go
babe.
home.
What the fuck?
Then I look up the closest one, and then I drive back, and I realize it's the same place I just left. But now there aren't as many people there, so I figure, okay, maybe it's not as busy. So I wait outside for like 15, 20 minutes, and then finally some other guy walks up, and he like knocks on the door to get in, and then a pharmacist is like from the desk, and she's like, oh, the lab people didn't come in today, so don't knock. So I'm just sitting here like an asshole for no reason after they already had like a sign-in kiosk. And that was my 5 hours this morning of wasted time. There you go. Yeah, fuck me, dude. Back when I was in California, there was like a hospital that I don't know if you're like, what do you call it? Are you like a subscriber or a member? But I had like a hospital that I would go to for everything, and I could just like go to their website, get the test, show up, do my billing and everything through them. It was super easy. Trying to like look up labs and shit online is fucking AIDS. Oh my god.
You know what you can do, and it might be the responsible thing for you to do at this point, is getting health insurance.
It's not a matter of cost. I can pay for
I'm not saying it's
for
cost.
a catastrophic event or something?
No, it's not even that though. It's like then all of this shit becomes actually a lot simpler, and they remind you of the stuff you need to do. Like, hey, it's time for your annual physical. Hey, you just turned 35. It's time to get this test done because, whatever. Like, a lot of that shit is taken care of for you. And it's probably good for you to have health insurance as well.
Yikes, cringe.
Are you gonna sell your fucking your car? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. You know, I'm thinking about it.
I just paid off mine and Rachel's car. I watched my my investment account fall every day, and I'm like, you know what? You know what I can get a positive return on? Is if I pay my cars off. Yeah. Damn, dude. You check any of your investment accounts today?
No. Why?
It's a lot of lost money, man. It's just losing 10, 20, 30, $40,000 every day, just slipping into nothing. Pretty spooky. I mean, I imagine it'll come back, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be doing this little damage, guys?
That's the great part about real estate, bros. You just don't have that like daily up and down to like freak out about. You know?
True, because you got that revenue stream.
Time for you to start seriously considering it. Imagine how much more the lefties would hate you if you were an actual landlord as well. Like even more than you are. Because now you kind of like, yeah, you can be a landlord, but you kind of, but not really.
This guy probably has an enraged too.
Run
Are
out.
you using attacks that aren't spells? Like that? He has a lot of health, and you are bad at the game, so you don't do much damage.
That's usually a bad combo for going against fucking bosses.
I don't think I can get any more item levels right now unless I grind scrolls for the next level of this shit. I can probably get 4 more item levels, or 5 if I get a bonus. For the last 3 bosses. Should I be grinding for the merciless shit next, or? Don't you have a shit ton of scrolls at base? I have scrolls, yes, but not the one things that you have to do. You can get STD tests from Planned Parenthood. Yeah, but I was going to get my testosterone test. Kyle fucked my brain from that fucking joke. I want to do lots of blood tests. I don't know if Planned Parenthood, if every clinic offers a blood test, but like, I usually get tested for herpes and everything too. Some of them that I've been to, I think only offer a PFAS score.
So what's up with your testosterone? What are you worried about?
I just want to know. Now I'm like,
You think that you're low T?
well, I know I am, unless that one clinic lied to me. But now I'm curious, like, how much? If it's something I should worry about, or something I should think about, or I just need to know.
Well, we've always known, you know, that you're low T, but like now, is like medically low T?
Well, yeah. So I got it measured once, like 5 years ago, I think. And I think the reference range for men is 350 to 950. I think mine was like 338 or 328. But I've read that like the reference range obviously is huge. If you're not symptomatic of low T, it doesn't really matter if you're higher or lower. Then there's like more complicated measures to it. Now that every motherfucker's on TRT and everything, I'm not sure, dude. I'm not sure. I wonder. I probably shouldn't worry about it, but I also kind of just want to know.
What are the symptoms of low T?
Symptoms of low T would be like irritability, low sex drive, like suddenly gaining a ton of fat. There might be more medical stuff associated with it, but like for the most part, like my day-to-day is like really good. I'm not very irritable. My sex drive is obviously fine. Yeah, I don't like have any of like the traditional symptoms or anything. So I feel like if I did TRT, it would literally only be for lifting. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, just your life.
Oh. Well, as I mentioned, I was
sick for a while.
I was sick.
Oh, he's enraged. Do a third one? Oh, cool, my shield.
1
Quick Google shows 21 GP offices in Miami. Can you just call one of them and ask for a lab requisition? Well, the problem is if you're not like actually a member of the hospital, I think it's basically the same as just going to random labs. Like it just becomes like a random lab for you. Crucial wash.
Right, I was thinking she's 6 feet because I'm 6 feet. You know, she's probably like 5 feet.
Stop. We tried using the sword. No, people said this had the best kit. I actually really like this kit too. I don't know.
So tell me about the January 6 memes.
I'm preemptively saying this, and I'm sure fucking Pisco and other hardcore lefties in my chat are gonna get super ass mad at me for saying this, but right now I think it's a mistake. I think the committee is not gonna be as explosive as they are pretending it'll be, and I think it's going to be.
Bro, come on, come on, come on!
I think it's gonna backfire.
You're like actually LOSing me, brother.
There's new information, but it needs, like, this is the way that I see it. I think most Americans have moved on from it. I don't think they care that much anymore. So if you're gonna drag this back out and bring it to the forefront of the American conscious, you need to have like some really explosive shit. And there's new stuff that they're releasing for sure. Stuff that's bad, but I don't think it's stuff that is so bad that they needed to like do the whole like horse and pony show. Is that what they call it or whatever again? Yeah. So I feel like it's gonna backfire, but hopefully I'm wrong.
If there was a video for Trump basically saying, I know I lost, I don't give a shit, we can get these idiots to keep me in the White House, etc., how would that change things?
Wait, say that one more time.
If there was a video that was available, that now becomes available, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like Trump saying, I know I lost, I don't give a shit, if we get these idiots fired up, they'll keep me in the White House, so let's do it.
It sounds like that's kind of what they've got, and we've kind of heard stuff that says about as much as that, but like, I don't think that there's not going to be literally Trump saying like, we need to fake the election results. That's not going to exist. That doesn't exist. And it's just going to be more of him like threatening to fire people or telling people that they need to find shit or whatever. Like kind of like, I don't think anything is going to be as bad as the call that we heard to the governor in Georgia. So yeah, it feels like a political mistake to me, but hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
I feel like it's dangerous. So here's my thinking. Tell me if I'm wrong or right on this. So let's say right now the most likely Republican that's not Trump to win is DeSantis, right? He's got even odds right now with Trump on being the next nominee. He's known nationally. So I feel like if DeSantis won and Trump didn't, the Republicans would be 100% fucking favor. I think.
Wait, if DeSantis ran and Trump didn't? Oh, yeah, right now it seems like that would be the case for sure.
Like it would be a fucking steamrolling of the Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay. But if Trump ran right now, I feel like there's just still so much Trump derangement syndrome. Still, that the thought of having him back in, I feel like would still be enough to energize behind Sleepy Joe again, regardless. Like, it's a lot, like, if you're a Republican, you're looking at, like, what are the odds? I think, right? You just, fuck it, let's throw it all behind Trump because we have to, or
yeah, if Trump, this is my thought process. I think, okay, so here's this, right? Trump doesn't care about politics of the Republican Party, right? Like, he only cares about himself, you know?
Yeah, but if the Republicans won't run...
Well, no, hold on. I'm not at that point, okay? What I'm saying is that Trump doesn't care about the Republican Party. He only cares about himself and his ego, right? You agree with that, right? If you don't agree with this, yeah, okay. So if you agree with that, if Trump wants to run, he's going to run. He doesn't give a fuck what the Republican Party does. He will run. He's already shown that he'll throw literally anybody under the bus that he can. If that is the case, then really, in order for Trump to run, the question is just, is Trump going to decide to run? That's the only thing that matters. And if Trump does decide to run, the Republicans have to back him. They have no choice. Because if they run somebody against him, they've split the vote, and their candidate might not even win more votes than Trump. So that's my logic for why Trump is going to.
Oh, wait a second. They have plenty. When you say they split the vote, because Trump...
No. I don't think they do. Like,
like the Democrats do.
If Trump lost the primary, do you think he would accept that, or do you think he'd still run as an independent?
I don't think he'd run as a Republican.
You don't think so?
Probably cause hell for the Republican nominee, but I think no, I don't think so.
I think he would win the primaries.
Can you do that? Can you just run as an independent?
Yeah, you can. I think Trump would win the primaries if they held them. But more importantly, I think that even if he lost the primaries, I think he might just run as an independent. And I think Republicans would know that. I think Republicans would back him. Also, even if Trump's popularity is dipping out, as soon as Trump is on stage talking his wild shit again, I think that Republicans would back him. I think they'd back him over DeSantis. He's universally loved. He's like the love child of the Republican parties, of the Republican Party.
Does he have like a weird ass build or something? Because he's like taking like freaking insane damage at a point. He just like takes a fuck ton of damage. Like, bro.
I feel
like
strongly that if Trump runs, you're gonna have similar levels of anti-Trump sentiment and probably not the same level of super Trump hype. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Republicans who still like Trump, but I don't like. Okay, how do I put this? The amount of people that still hate Trump is the same as before. I don't think that's.
I don't know
changed.
if that's true.
Why would it not be true? Who hated Trump enough to vote just against him before?
I think that
a
lot of the that the vitriol is going to be tempered. I think there are a lot of people that hate Trump, sure, but not like they did in 2020. I think that a lot of it is going to be alleviated just because as time passes. That's just how it goes, right?
You're telling me when this guy gets on fucking stage and starts doing his Trump shit, that people that didn't hate Trump are gonna fucking, it's all not gonna all click in their fucking head like PTSD on overdrive.
I mean, like, I'm just trying to think of like what was the country like under Trump, like at the time that things happened. We were like getting into full blown on the coronavirus shit. Like everything was insane, like insanely disfavorable for the conditions at that point in time. Like if Trump comes back now and the economy is like feeling like shit, and it doesn't, and like we've got inflation problems still. I don't know how long we're gonna be in a recession for. I don't see people having the same vitriol, like hate towards Trump. We're past the coronavirus shit now, like. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
You think we're past the Trump hate? I think that's.
I think we're past the peak of the Trump hate. Because keep in mind that even at the even at the peak of the Trump hate, he still had a fuck ton of votes. That guy got a lot of votes.
Forget all that. There's a delta. The amount of people that hated Trump before, the amount of people that hate Trump now. The amount of people that loved Trump before, the amount of people that love Trump now. Do you think that these two things are exactly in sync, or one of them is the delta's going more in favor?
I think the people that love Trump, I think once he starts speaking again, will be there. Like a little bit less, but mostly there. But I think the people that fucking hated Trump, I think that massive hate will drop off.
You're actually delusional. How? You're a politics trainer too.
Okay, we'll see. I think that people like you, normies, underestimate how much people like drop off and just don't give a fuck after a while. Look at how many people like laugh and giggle along with Bush and stuff. And like people hated Bush. I know it's been a bit longer, but like Bush was literally like the 9/11 Iraq War, and now people are like, oh, it's Bushisms, they're funny, he's kind of cute, he's a little endearing, blah blah blah. Like it's so bad. Like people online are like, guys, remember how much we're supposed to fucking hate Bush? Like stop being friendly. People like,
wait, no, hold on.
Okay,
that is not to that level of how it was. We were there for Bush. Like first off, Bush never had the level of like hatred from the Democrats that the Democrats hated Trump. Like to them, he was just like, you were there, dude. It's totally fucking different.
It wasn't as bad, sure, but like, damn, it was like pretty bad. Like, well, I mean, like, damn, we had like the whole fucking Iraq War and Afghanistan and everything. Like, it was pretty fucked. Like,
yeah, but that was fucking politics. Like, most people didn't even have politics in their day to day. Like at that point back then, it was only like this election where every fucking day people were being like.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that like Bush was pretty hated. Remember fucking No Child Left Behind? People fucking hated that shit. Like it feel like people were super vitriolic towards Bush, but now it's like pretty like chill. But I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens.
What we wanted right now is what we're getting, which is like every day waking up and not having to hear about fucking politics and news, and that's what we got, by the way, right now. I don't know if you noticed or not, but like you go to sleep and you wake up and there's not some fucking crazy shit that Biden has tweeted that we're all talking about how he told.
Yeah, but you're implying that people like that. I think people loved Trump's tweets. That was like
What's your
exciting for
step?
people on the right. They felt like there was a guy, even though they were all delusional in thinking this, but they felt like there was a guy that was actually speaking to them. Like Trump is base. He's
Yeah, but
calling
that
out,
riled up the fucking, obviously the Democrats as well.
Yeah, it did rile up the Democrats, sure, because they wanted an
Shockwave.
election where they thought that they could do better and blah, blah, blah. But if we've had 4 years of Biden,
I'm
it seems
so
like,
ass.
well,
I'm
fuck,
just
the
ass.
economy
I'm
kinda
just ass. I'm
sucks
just
now,
ass. I'm
like,
just ass. It's
I
me.
don't know, there's
Right.
not a coronavirus shit to worry about anymore. I don't know if that same energy or passion is going to be there for not Trump as there was like right after. I mean, like, you'll agree with this. The hatred for Trump then is definitely going to be more than the hatred for Trump will be when he comes back to run again, right? Like, because he's not even in office. We don't have like that
Shockwave.
constant reminder of how much.
Fuck.
I think it's going to be close just because of what happened on like
What's your
January
step?
6th and people fearful that if he gets in,
Chalk
it's
that
going to
for
be
them.
the end.
That sucks.
But the thing I think that's
Yeah,
important,
and this is a
come
this
back
is a
here,
bust
like,
key. There's no way we
I
do this
feel
whole thing
pretty
with this
strongly
boss.
that if the Republicans run,
The next
somehow
spot
DeSantis
should
as
be
the nominee,
fast, but the
Shockwave.
this next boss
the
after this one's gonna be a
Republicans, like
bitch.
guaranteed fucking win, right? But if they run Trump, it's not that guaranteed. Is my thought on the process. Does that make sense to you? Like if you run Trump, you don't know how the Democrats are gonna like be able to rile up and raise money and do sorts of crazy fucking shit on the fact of Trump coming back and
Shockwave.
the end of the Republic and everything else. If DeSantis just comes in here, you know, I think it's a little bit more.
What's your step?
It's actually more dangerous because DeSantis is like a fucking like super Trump, and people just don't know it yet.
I think that I think running DeSantis would be probably better for a variety of reasons for the Republican Party. I would agree with that. But if Trump
Shockwave.
can run, he will. He doesn't give a fuck about the Republican Party. And I think if Trump does run, I think the party is still largely allegiant to Trump. But I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
All right, well, I got pizza here, buddy. Have a good. You're doing a chat with Mr. Girl and who now?
Well, if he survives,
Shockwave.
Mr. Girl and Erudite are apparently going to have a resolution of disagreements. So.
About what?
What's your step?
Apparently, Mr. Girl thinks that she's like a greedy, horrible person who only cares about making money and hates her patients or something, I guess. Or she doesn't have patience, but works in
Really?
psychology. Yeah, so should be interesting.
We need more
Shockwave.
psychologists on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good that erudite. How you say it?
it's alright.
Erudite.
It's chalk at this
Erudite.
point. He's just if he
Erudite.
just haven't followed it.
Erudite.
Erudite.
Erudite. Yeah, geez, it's the only real psychologist I can think of on Twitter right now, or not on Twitter, on Twitch.
Shockwave.
Yeah, yeah, that's who I would go to if I needed some sort of psychology advice personally, like a real expert.
What's your
Yeah.
step?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to get like shit advice, and there really isn't anyone else, you know, that I can think of.
Oh. Well, thanks for filling us in on that, man.
Yeah, I'm just baiting fans. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Shockwave.
I think that the is it the Scholar Blood? I think the Scholar Blood is the best blood in the game. I need to go to oh, I can't do this. What is it? The Dunley Monastery. I need to go there. I think it's probably the best place to go to, huh? Try to get like 100% scholar. Do you think that's the best place to try to farm them? There are also skulls in the two villages in this week. I wanted to watch the... Can somebody link the Mr. Girl and the Breckful video?
I love. Are you almost
I only
here?
have an hour now. I'm not going to be able to watch it all.
printed way too much money. The government's printed way too much money. Who told you that? I don't know, people are saying that. Like everyone's saying that. Nobody knows what in tarnation's going on with inflation. Well, if they keep printing dollars, they're gonna devalue the dollars already in existence. That's not how it works. So how does it work? Inflation isn't a measurement of how much a dollar is worth. Inflation is a measurement of the price changes over time. So the one you see
It's
on the
another
right
day
is
in
the consumer
paradise,
price
living the
index.
dream.
And what they do is they run surveys, they say, what did you buy and for how much? And then they decide.
Yeah, I don't have any of those. I don't want any of those. Those are lame. I'd rather just play my priest until I get 3,500, and then maybe then I'll go shadow and see how high I can get in shadow. I just like one thing. I like one thing and one thing only. And when I finish that one thing, then I'll branch it out.
Is a one trick pony, and that trick so their whole plan is to make people have less money, therefore less demand, therefore prices will go back down.
There you go.
The plan is to just make people poor. Just because it's a one-trick pony doesn't mean it's a big trick. You should get a new pony.
Thanks, MMT are saving us. Where is the we recorded this months ago. Two hours. Fuck me, dude. I'm not gonna be able to watch hardly any of this.
I haven't seen any of these, but
Cleared heroic. This probably was, yeah, we wiped a few times, but I think they already cleared it. There was like fillers.
I know Dr. Killers will claim that there's no so the decision to continue to
Hopefully I get, I said I would try it again with him if I don't get my piece this week. Or this vault, I guess. Just the resonant reservoir from the sausage. So one thing
I've been
huh?
for many years.
It's best in slot for mythics.
Stream chat is telling me that you're
Because it does like, I think the heroic version does like 28k DPS when it comes to 4-pack. Not including crazy packs.
From a decade ago.
There's like it does a fuck ton of DPS.
What are we talking about today, buddy?
And it's a minute and a half CD.
Well,
what am I calling you, Rectal?
You can call me Byron if you want. But yeah, I've dealt with depression my whole life, pretty much. I mean, since I was 14, and I'm 30 now.
Okay.
And a bunch of people in my chat were telling me I should call you.
Okay.
So here I am.
Okay.
It's actually starting to get better just recently, because I'm like working on a project with some friends, and it gives me a sense of purpose, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
What's the project? And by the way, so a couple of ground rules. So I'm a psychiatrist, but I can't treat your depression over the internet. And by the way, so a couple of ground rules.
so in the first 30 seconds, he was already telling him that it's starting to get better. Don't worry about me. I can handle it on my own. I think Rifle is a people pleaser. That, based on what he said and based on his mannerisms.
Talk a little? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh Jesus. Is this the first exposure that Max has to Byron's conversations? Because you could read Byron as a people pleaser, but there's like a few other ways you could read that too. It might just be the case that one.
Yeah, we just chalked it. I just chalked a 20 key on Spires, and I was.
It could be the case that he doesn't want.
Like, you know what? Let me just go do a fucking low key. Let me just go get some. Yeah, let me just go do some relaxed shit for a run or two, and then go back to trying to get my 20s for the week.
PDS is trying to make the demos. Sorry, I don't know why I was saying the demos. It like.
The only one I don't have a 20 on.
Like being treated, doesn't want to
Well,
waste his
this
time.
week I have a
There's
lot.
a few
I
different reasons why you
have
could
basically
say
all of them
that's a
except
pretty
Gambit
big
and
jump,
Plaguefall.
automatically.
So those I have 20s, but everything else I have like 19s or like I think Sanguine Depths is gonna be the hardest one,
Inhibit his ability to see.
and that's a 17 with a 2 chest. But I've done a 20 on my Fortify just now on Tyrannical.
All right, yeah, you can ask whatever you want, and if I don't want to answer it on stream, yeah.
So, what do you mean by depression?
Well, I've been diagnosed with bipolar type 2. When I was 6, my brother killed himself. He also had it.
How old was he?
He was 21.
Well, this all
Very big
dies
age gap.
super fast.
Okay.
And then because of that,
How are you going? Survival,
when I've
Marksman, or
gone
Beast?
to Get treated. They never give me SSRIs. I've never tried.
I mean,
because he's tried an SSRI.
I feel like for me, I'd probably want to be survival if I was gonna pick a super meta DPS.
And I've tried a couple of things. I tried like I was on a really high dose of lithium at one point, and very bland. Yeah, the same thing people always say, like kind of dead. You know, kind of. Yeah. And then
So what happens
I tried a
when
bunch of other
you're
ones.
a really
Not
OP
super
DPS
memorable. One of them
class?
gave me like some eye pain, so I stopped taking it. I was really sensitive to light. Maybe you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I don't know, I tried
No! I don't know how the mechanics work. He's dead. He's like dead. I can never revive him, right?
Try and
Yeah,
shelter.
good. I'm glad. I hope you guys all got that. Okay. Is he dead, or can I bring him back? Sorry, I just. Yeah. Cool. Good. Nice. Fuck that dog. Okay, that's better than me. Okay, that's fine. 100% left.
I was really sensitive to light. Maybe you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I don't know. I tried a bunch of different ones. This is like 14 years ago. But now I don't really remember.
I didn't know you could miss a button, to be honest.
Has medication ever been helpful?
So the only thing that's been really helpful is when I was in Amsterdam, I took psilocybin, and it really worked for me.
You know, so this is fascinating. So the FDA
Okay, we're 3 minutes in, and Dr. K is talking about the FDA. He's talking about medication. He's asking him about his reaction to different drugs. This is a medical conversation. He's claiming he's not acting as a medical professional, but Reckful knows that Dr. K is in fact a doctor. And this is having this conversation.
It's such an intense feeling. It's kind of hard to explain, but it let me get out of these like thought loops that I was in that were causing me to be sad.
Yep.
And I just step back and see things in a new perspective.
Okay. So today's supposed to be a stream about meditation, and Rackful, I'm going to ask you a couple of other questions. But if it's okay with you guys, we're going to talk about that and like what's happening in your mind, and why psilocybin is helpful, and how you can cultivate that sensation without using psilocybin.
Okay.
So the first thing is like this phrase, a thought loop, I love. So why don't you explain to people what is a thought loop?
Okay, you'd explain it better. But just certain things, you're going along through your day, and a certain thing happens, and it always causes you to think in the same pattern of a certain negative feeling at the end. And I always hear it described as, it's like an icy mountain with a sledge. A lot of sleds have gone down, and there's these patterns formed that your mind has to go down one of these paths of the sled. And then when you're on psilocybin, it seems like it doesn't. It's kind of free to think whatever.
Yeah, so... Okay. Yeah, so let's talk about thought loops for a second. So the first thing to understand is...
Okay, 4 minutes and 43 seconds. If I were talking to Reckful, if I were his therapist, or if I was trying to be his fake therapist, where I'm at with him is that Reckful has a lot of trouble expressing. He's a pleaser, he's nice.
Oh man. Oh dude. Fuck.
I think that's me too, but I'm also doing it on a force.
Support what he's saying.
heavily overgeared with 2 survival hunters.
I don't want to do it. I'm about to do it.
I
don't think I am.
That'll
I think I
happen.
can make my statement with better judgment. So So here's a piece of advice that I, as a loser fucking streamer,
Dude, I'm
give to
just.
therapists.
You know what I'm actually kind of salty about?
And I think it's one of the reasons why
I farmed these 2 trinkets like crazy. The Unbound Changeling and Soleil's trinket. And they get replaced by heroic shit that's lower eye level. So if I get this reservoir from my vault, then it's from a heroic. So I have lower eye level, but I have the best trinkets. And the stats are better, oddly enough. The only thing that's not better is the intellect. I lose 8 intellect, but I gain I think like 4 haste.
Shockwave.
It's anxious, and I would probably assume that at some point I need Reckful to get mad at me. I need to let him
pull as much as he likes.
maybe
We
even
can
make
do
him
the
mad at
entire
me,
thing.
and then I need to show him that it's okay. It's okay for
That would
him
be
to
cool.
be so mad.
See how much I did DPS you can.
tells me,
I
"Fuck
love
you,
low
I never
keys
wanna
because this
see you
actually
again."
doesn't kill me if I just like beeline straight through.
I'm a
I
pretty
can just tank
person,
everything.
And well, let me back up. You have mental health issues, and you're used to people trying to like peg you very quickly as a certain thing. You can also probably tell when people have pegged you as a certain thing. And if you feel like somebody is going in a certain direction, and they've already made up their mind about you, I think it's very easy to just stop engaging with the person and like not like be like, oh, okay, you think this about me? Like, fuck you. Like, I'm not even gonna.
Keep it going. Keep it going. We're going strong here, Ezekiel. I'm with you, brother. I am with you. Right here. Right here.
The key problems they have, trying to railroad them down that path, is probably the worst possible thing you can do. If I had to guess, and this is going by like my experience with like 2 therapists, and just my guess is going to be my guess is going to be that for a good therapist, probably your entire first session is just going to be you sharing
57K
without them really being able to say much at all. That would be like my guess. Like you're not going to be like in 6 minutes like, oh yeah, like, you probably got this, this, and this, and I'm gonna do this. It's probably going to be like an hour of like you just like, oh,
Keep jumping.
Is it 7? Forgot which what amount. Oh, perfect. Just drag him in the boss. Drag him in the boss. Drag him in the boss.
Scheduled session. I am still.
You got it. You got it, Ezekiel. You're smart. You're big brain.
That is my impression based on.
Yep,
the little
right
I've
on
seen.
that boss.
doing that. Well, no, I'm saying that's what you should be doing. It seems like Dr. just chatting with. Dr. K seems like he's pretty good at having good. No, actually, he shoots pretty hard. He tries to get something. He really does push. I mean, like, there's room for criticism for sure. I'm not gonna say. But this here of like Max trying to like
make sure you jump.
Find shelter.
I like how we can just full face tank this.
So far, just one full session with Melina and some short clips.
Wait, Max is just saying that that's where he is at.
Yeah, it was funny. I was trying to gear hunt for my buddy on his feral druid. Me and Devin, and he was like, yeah, I'm starting to get my abyss. I'm starting to get my 4-piece. I think he just got his 4-piece. And it was funny because he was like, bro, I have like 20 something verse. I think he had like low 20s, and I'm like, bro, I have like almost 28 verse. 28. Well, it's my second stat, so I have haste and verse. Those are the only 2 things I stack.
I don't have time to.
And I'm not even at my verse cap. If I could, I'd put more. I need 200 more verse for me to get to 30%, 33%.
I do not.
Which is my
think
verse
that
cap.
He is going to allow that. I don't think he's.
And if
gonna
I can
let anyone get mad at him.
Yeah.
Also based on the reaction of his fans, that I said I was upset with him, and there's no sense of like, oh,
Max
well,
is saying he's
This
figured
should be
out Byron's
qualifying
problem
as a
because he
4K.
has
If we can
basic
get nearly in
read on
half
some
of the
basic
3K.
conversational aspects of his personality. No,
Or the
you're
4
wrong.
chest.
When you say like this is a person that avoids confrontation,
Up.
he has no basis
Well,
to say
no, we
that.
only need 4 of
That-
them,
that
right? There's
hasn't
not
been
5.
established. You need way more in a conversation to figure out if somebody's avoidant of confrontation.
I'll go
We
with
have-
the
there's
tank.
way
No,
to
because I was
3 minutes
thinking, I
where
thought
you
there
feel
were
like,
5
oh,
for some reason.
This person needs to be made angry.
5
but you just don't have
totems
enough
for this
information
fight.
You don't. Like,
There's not.
Well, yeah, of course, he welcomes negative feedback and negative emotion.
Run
He's
out.
mad at Dr. K. That's a totally natural response. I don't get that. I get
Watch where.
frantic, almost freakish defensiveness. And well, I am. And yeah, so I guess we'll see where he goes with that.
He
but-
explicitly says he wouldn't say those things to Reckful. Okay, we're gonna re-listen to this entire thing. Sorry.
Run out.
Because it sounded to me like he said, if I was talking to him, this is what I would say. Hold on, Pixel Fish is also getting from one.
Run out. Watch
Because it sounds
where.
explicitly like he said, if I was talking to him, this is what I would say.
And I've tried a couple things. I tried like I was on a really high dose of lithium every time. And, very bland. Yeah, the same thing people always say, like kind of. And then God, I've tried a bunch of other ones, but they're not super memorable. One of them gave me like migraine. I don't know. I tried a bunch of different ones. This is like 14 years ago, most of it. So now I don't really remember. So the only thing that's been really helpful is when I was in Amsterdam, I took psilocybin, and it really worked.
You know, so this is fascinating. So
Okay, we're 3 minutes in, and Dr. K is talking about the FDA, he's talking about medication, he's asking him about his reaction to different drugs. This is a medical conversation. He is claiming he's not acting as a medical professional, but Reckful knows that Dr. K is in fact a doctor when he's having this conversation.
It's such an intense feeling, it's kind of hard to explain, but it let me get out of these like thought loops that I was in that were causing me to be sad.
Yep.
And I just stepped back and see things in a new perspective.
Okay, so today's supposed to be a stream about meditation, and Reckful, I'm going to ask you a couple of other questions. But if it's okay with you guys, we're going to talk about that and why some of and how you meditate that sensation without being sensitive.
Okay.
So the first thing is like this way is a thought loop. I love it. So why don't you explain to people what is a thought loop?
Okay, you'd explain it better. but there's certain things, you're going along through your day, and a certain thing happens, and it always causes you to think in the same pattern of a certain negative feeling at the end. And I always hear it described
Ooh, do you
as,
need the ring?
it's like an icy mountain with the sleds. A lot of sleds have gone down, and then there's these patterns of form that your mind tends to go down one of these paths of the sleds. And then when you're on psilocybin, it seems like it doesn't.
I have,
think whatever.
Yeah, so,
I have another one. Don't worry.
yeah, so let's talk about thought loops for a second. So the first thing to understand.
Okay, 4 minutes and 43 seconds.
I have it for my shadow side. Don't
Or
worry.
if I were trying to be his fake therapist. Where I'm at with him is that Reckful has a lot of trouble expressing anger. He's a people pleaser, he's nice, he's anxious, and I would probably assume that
I got my okay, so this is the one that annoys me.
Email
Okay,
in
so
1
like
month, maybe, and you'll get unbanned. I don't understand where. I don't know if it's like
this one
Mr. Girl
I
that brings
got
out, like, these
from
people, or there's just, like,
21
some,
Necrotic
no, it's not
Wake.
just him, because it happens sometimes with political commentators too. You guys will just say shit like, "Oh, I don't think this is what they meant." I just go somewhere else.
I think
Go-
I tried to
go watch
PS
another
you.
stream. Like,
This is the one I got from.
I don't know why I just had to waste time re-listening to exactly what I just heard and repeated verbatim. But okay.
That dropped into 21. They cap it
maybe even
262.
making mad at me, and then I need to show him that it's okay for him to be mad at me.
No. They
It's
dropped
okay
to
for him
62.
to be so mad that he hangs up on me. He tells
But
me, "Fuck
what
you,
was
I never
funny
wanna
about
see
it
you
was I was
again."
pissed.
And then the next week
because
at our next scheduled session, I am still there.
I got this in my fucking chest.
That
So I had the prismatic, but I got a 278 without a prismatic, and I was like, motherfucker, bro, like.
I had one full session with Melina.
I was like, it couldn't have been any of my other. It couldn't have been like one that didn't have a prismatic that I got like later. And I could have rocked the
Also
prismatic
based on
one.
the reaction of his
but-
fans that I said I was upset with.
The idea of making somebody get mad at you or figuring out that you can do that also in the first session.
278 is better just because it
I
gives
guess
you more.
I'm curious which therapist he's talked to.
'Cause of the
This is
I think
probably one of the more challenging
the
aspects of being a therapist.
versatility.
My guess is that if you
Actually,
get clients mad at you that quickly or in a first session, a lot of them probably would just never come back. Like, I would be surprised if you have very.
Well, you
little
have to
points
remember
on
that's a
your team.
262.
They probably just leave.
So going up to 270, yeah, getting up to 272.
There's no sense of like, oh,
it'd
well,
probably
of
be pretty
course,
comparable.
He welcomes negative.
To a
feedback and
278,
negative
but the
emotion.
item level
You
would be
can
the
even
only
add
bad
it,
thing.
okay? That's a totally natural response.
Because like you
I don't
might
get that. I
get equal value.
People
Yeah, you might
pleaser
get equal
expressing
value
anger
other
at
than
matches
Stam,
on
but
demons, he's projecting
for me, if I'm going
I'm not trying
verse,
to
I
say
kind
he's
of in
projecting,
hand also want
feels a
Stam
little bit like that,
because
but maybe not. I haven't
me
seen it on
reduction,
Master
me
Duel. That was
reducing
definitely
damage also helps with me surviving
Take,
longer.
Almost freakish defensiveness and protective.
But yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some and then be back and try and do my 20s.
And yeah, so I
Alright,
guess we'll
peace,
see
dude.
where he goes with that. But the conflict avoidance, well, whatever he
rocks.
fucking doesn't work. So I guess I have obviously that bias. But yeah, that's what I would be doing.
Okay. Yeah, so let's talk about thought loops for a second. So the first thing to understand is that it's a repetitive pattern of thinking that sort of leads you to the same place every time, but then you take the ski lift back to the top of the mountain and then you just go back down it again.
Yes.
Right? So like this is important to understand because your mind thinks that it's doing productive.
Do you think there is a world where Dr. K saves Reckful? Well, here's another issue, too, that you have to keep in mind. It might be that Dr. K's therapy was actually really good for Reckful. It might have been that Reckful would have committed suicide in a week. You know, maybe. Maybe Dr. K put that off for some number of months or a year. I don't know how long they were talking. That could be the case. We don't know. But it's a little bit, you can't really say, like, Dr. K failed because we don't know what another world would have looked like. There might have been one where Reckful killed himself way sooner. It's kind of hard to say.
Thinking, but it's not doing productive thinking. It's just thinking the same shit over and over again. So I kind of think about thought loops like chewing gum. Like they're working, but there's no nutrition. There's no actual resolution and there's no benefit. You're just chewing the same shit over and over and over again.
Okay.
The other thing is, in your case, like I would imagine that your thought loops are focused on yourself, right? They're about you.
My thought loops are...
Okay, he doesn't know what thought loop he's talking about. I don't even... Telling someone within 5 minutes of meeting them, 5.5 minutes of meeting them, that you can intuit what their thought loops are about and that their thought loops, because they call them thought loops, you therefore know that they're not productive or that there's no point. It almost sounds like he's saying there's no point in even discussing what the thought loops are.
I agree that assuming the thought loops are about Reckful is probably not good, but but I mean, like, hasn't Mr. Girl like assumed that Reckful is a people pleaser and needs him to be made to be angry? It seems like he's making a lot of the same assumptions. I would say Dr. K's priming here is probably not very good. You should probably ask instead, but
Reckful already again strikes me as extremely compartmentalized. So telling him that some of his thoughts don't matter, or are not real, or are not productive, or
thought loops by definition aren't generally productive. I don't know of a single person ever in my entire life who's ever described a thought loop as a productive thing, or anybody that enjoys, like, thought loops by definition are like ruminating on productive thoughts. I don't know. Maybe there's another type of thought loop that I might be unfamiliar with. I've never heard of it, if that is the case. Do I just need to keep coming back in here looking for the monastery people?
That they're like isolated and not connected to anything. Just seems like he's reinforcing the belief that some of his thoughts are not his, and then connected to that is the idea that some of his feelings are not his, and that this like alienness that he feels inside him, that he's right to feel that. Basically, there doesn't seem to be any plan to try to connect Reckful to himself. I'm gonna start calling him Byron.
Are about me. I have to think about it if that's true.
That was a lot.
So what are the thought loops I have?
Yeah, so let's start there.
Usually they have to do with leading back to everything has no purpose, something like that, I think.
Okay.
But then at the same time, even when I'm happy, I don't mind the thought that everything has no purpose. So that's a strange. It seems contradictory.
It's
You know,
it's not.
It's not. Okay. Tell me
It
why.
does seem contradictory.
Obama.
Okay. So because this is so let me ask you. Okay, we're gonna get weird, Reckful. Do you believe that life? What do you think of? What's your sense of like what life is?
I'm an organism that came to be from two other organisms who
Sure.
liked each other enough to
Have a child.
baby.
Yeah.
Procreate.
And is that is that all you are? You're just a biological organism?
And I have consciousness, which we can't really explain, the hard problem.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so what does that like what do you think about your life? Like what's the like do you feel like your life has purpose?
Most of the time, no, but recently I've started to think yes, because I realize I can start trying to help other people who have had my same problems, so I relate to them. And then I hope by making this game I'm working on that they can find friendship and a sense of community. Because I'm making an MMO, like a really, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Things
Yes.
that I wanted to.
Okay.
Let's go play Fallout.
So I'm gonna just dive into Sanskrit for a second, okay? So Sanskrit.
Okay, so we're 7 minutes in, and he's already telling him, by implication, are you just a biological organism? Is that all you are? And basically implying that he is going to use spirituality to give Byron a sense of purpose in his life, even though he just said he is not a spiritual person. So again,
I don't know if he said he's gonna give him a sense of purpose,
I have major
but
problems with this.
Jeez.
He's drowning in depression, and you're offering him a oar to grab onto, and except he has the motivation to try to please you and make you feel like you did a good job. He's also very aware of the audience, and he wants to please them as well. And so you're going to tell him some shit about your spirituality, and he is going to say it makes a lot of sense and that it's helpful, but probably throw up some signs of resistance or hesitance. And you're gonna roll right over it.
The yogis, like back in ancient India, like thousands of years ago, basically started to believe that the world was false. And the reason that they started to believe the world was false is because they sort of understood that like the sense organs can be falsified, so either through the use of hallucinogens or dreams. But ultimately, that the experience that they have within a dream is actually the same experience that you have within reality. That even though a dream can be fake or real, your experience of a dream is the same as your experience of life. Like, you can feel suffering, you can feel joy, you can feel hope, you can feel sorrow, abject terror. And so what they realized is that the foundation of reality is actually consciousness. And that the foundation of reality is experience, and that the external world is false.
Yeah, I've listened to The Case Against Reality. Maybe you've heard that. Dan Hoffman, I think.
I haven't heard that one in particular, but there's a lot of stuff from quantum mechanics that supports this. I don't know if Dan Hoffman.
Telling a depressed person who's again has a history of suicide in the family, who has not been able to be prescribed antidepressants. You are a doctor, you've already discussed medication, you have now known him for 8 minutes and 43 seconds, and you are saying the sentence, the external world is false. It's it's amazing how much more at this point Byron knows about you than you know about him.
5, 4, 3,
feels like such a
2,
stretch.
1.
Trying to think of how irresponsible I want my statements to be. I could make a lot of assumptions on Maximus. I could make a lot of assumptions. I think here's something I'll say. general people say and they feel that's the meaning of the direction of suicide diary. I don't necessarily think hearing somebody so logic is going to be, oh, that's like the key that I needed and now I can do this. I think these are way more deeply rooted emotional beliefs, emotionally grounded things than like intellectual beliefs. To prepare for this conversation, I actually watched Reckless last stream the other day, and something that I think is very hard to understand is it feels like when you're mentally well invested, good experiences are fun experiences because you have fun, and then afterwards,
Dispel voice.
that was fun. If you go and so for instance, if you're like a normally mental illness person, if you go and you hang out with your friends, that's usually an elevated experience. And then there's kind of this like you get this high afterwards when you go home, you're like, oh, today was a really good day.
Dispel voice.
I got my friends, we had a lot of fun, I'm gonna go to sleep. I get this feeling, partially based on my personal conversation, it might be, but even watching the stream for the last day of the and then I get this feeling of joy after the confession. When you are having fun, it doesn't really feel as much like you're having fun. It's like a distraction from your normal state of reality that is empty and hard. So when you are, how would I describe it? There are good come-downs that you can try. You're like, that was super fun, and now I'm coming back. Mushrooms or LSD or something.
Run out.
And then there are bad come-downs. I would say probably like opiates, MDMA for sure.
Dispel voice.
Where as soon as you lose it, you're like, oh no, I'm going back to like this horrible thing. So what happens is when you are like a super mentally fucked person, you're not actually, right? It doesn't necessarily feel like you're out. It feels like you're distracted.
Dispel voice.
And that kind of like thought can follow you through everything. And when I look at like Reckl's last day of talking to people, I think it was like, all right guys, like, I'm gonna go offline, and then I'm gonna try to find something to watch and fall asleep. I don't know. I could be hearing this.
Dispel voice.
I could be like,
Dispel voice. Run out.
When I hear people talk, it almost sounds not bittersweet, but like sad. He knows that like the distraction that I just had is leaving me in the middle of my total stream up and
Dispel voice.
back, and now I'm back there again, and that's what my whole life is. I distract myself with some fun thoughts. That's the lens through which I view people that have like depression.
Dispel voice.
This is like the daily experience. It's not like this intellectual justification for like, man, there's no external world, I can kill myself. It's a way more deeply rooted emotional feeling than just like an intellectual, I would say. If I was to be critical of anything for Dr. K's conversation, 8 minutes that I've listened to so far, if I was talking to somebody and I was trying to get to the root of like what Rec was talking about, if I say like, tell me about yourself, like where's your place in the world, and I was to get an answer like Recful is hyper autistic, more autistic than I am, but we were similarly autistic, because I might give an answer, no I wouldn't, because I'm not that autistic, or it's like, what do you see as like, what's your purpose in life? Well, 2 people created me, blah 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 blah, and it's like, no. I don't give a fuck about that. Tell me, what do you feel like your purpose in life is? And he kind of got to the well, I want to make a game that other people like, because I feel like I'm kind of helping other people. I think that on another aside, I think that when you're mentally ill, I think that one of the best feelings in the world, this is true of non-mentally ill people, is people really like to be understood. And one of the biggest problems with mental illness is you really don't have anybody that understands you, because people think you're sad. And you're not sad. Being sad or depressed for a reason is fucking awesome. Like if I could say like I'm sad because my dog died, that's cool. I know what made me sad, and eventually those conditions will be ameliorated, and then you're gone. You're not sad anymore. It's much worse to be sad for no reason, because now you're just sad. That's like your default state. There's not even a reason behind it. You just are. It's your state, it's your default state. So I feel like circling back to the Dr. K conversation. When Reckel says that he likes to like make other people feel good because he's probably he's looking to some extent for other people to understand the things that he feels. Number one, and then number two, I think Dr. K should be having more emotional conversations. Don't intellectualize this. When I ask you about who you are, I don't care about your like intellectual view of like existence. I don't care about the hard problem. I'm not doing that. and that would be my primary criticism of Dr. K. But there might be a variety of reasons why he's not going into that. Same for that control. But Jesus. Destiny making way too many generalizations right now. Sometimes I make a lot of generalizations that are hasty. If I do, I'll tell you. None of the generalizations that I just made were hasty. All of them are extremely true. If you don't know that, it's just because you haven't gotten old enough to know it. I will tell you, this is just a factual statement. If you agree with me, you're wrong, and eventually you'll learn it, or you'll always be a shitty person and you'll never learn it. People love independence. Everybody loves it. One of the reasons why I work so well with people like that. I feel like I can do it. Anybody, like, it's one of the reasons why when we watch people go into interrogation rooms, I've said this a lot, JCS and other people never point this out or they don't pick up on it. I think that one of the reasons why, when you get a lot of these lunatics in interrogation rooms, why they talk so much is because it's probably, for the first time in their life, they're sitting across the table from someone that actually super cares about everything they have to say. And I really get that feeling when I watch, like, there's that incel shooter, there's a couple other the big conspiracy people, where you got a guy like, yeah, man, tell me, like, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, or like, why do you think women do this, or why do you think Elliot Rogers said that, or whatever. And I think that they actually genuinely get this feeling of like, holy shit, for the first time in my life, because a lot of these people are loners, a lot of these people don't have pressure to listen to them or understand them. They're actually getting a person that is talking to you, trying to understand them. It is one of the best feelings in the world, is having somebody who is genuinely trying to understand. And mental illness is unfortunately a quality, a feeling, a sensation that if you haven't experienced it first, it's very, 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 very hard for you to relate to another person's feelings. And I would say, now this is a generalization, that might not be true, I'll say this is a generalization that might be true, but I would go on to argue that one of the worst parts about mental illness isn't all of the ordinary horrible feelings that go along with mental illness. One of the worst parts is that you actually genuinely feel cut off from a lot of humanity because people don't understand what you're experiencing. They don't understand.
Watch your step.
I would describe it as like you're literally at the bottom of the pit watching people walk by above you. Genuinely do not understand your experience. And that feeling, irrespective of every other bad feeling you have, is on its own very, very, very good. Nobody actually understands it. It's like, I'm depressed. They're hearing like, I'm sad because of something. Or when you say like, I have anxiety, you know? They might quote to you like, Alan Watts says so many things. Like, oh, well, anxiety is when you worry about not worrying. Anxiety is when you worry for no reason. Well, kind of, but that's not true.
Watch your step.
My body I have no fucking idea why. It's not even because I'm not worrying about anything. It's just like I wake up and like my heart feels like it's pounding my chest. I don't even know why, right? That's anxiety. It's not like this like, oh well, I'm worrying because I'm not worrying about it, blah blah. No, that's bullshit. That sounds like some shit somebody's saying that has never had anxiety before. But yeah, I think that lack of understanding is a really big issue that people with mental illness especially have. I am generalizing here. I think so. But I think people in general also love to be understood. Okay.
Watch your step.
A good example of like understanding this from a quantum mechanics perspective is there's an
Watch your step.
But basically that reality is a probability, and it's the act of observation that causes a probability to collapse into a reality.
Watch your step.
So that reality actually exists is a probability. Like reality is not static, and that the act of observation causes a probability to collapse into a reality.
God, I hate the misciting of like the uncertainty principle and everything having to do with quantum waveforms and the many worlds. And it's actually when we make. I just wish that nobody would ever talk about quantum physics. Okay, I'm sorry, but anyway, go ahead.
So like the world exists as a probability wave, and when you
Run out.
So now you're getting into some uncertainty principle shit.
Watch your step.
Right after this guy told you his life has no meaning, and so you're doing this thing where when he's sad, you are telling him to switch into this extremely abstracted, literally mathematical lens through which to look at reality, so that
watch your step.
Essentially, you're not really his, and his feelings about his life are now unanchored and make no sense. And I mean, I see people do this all the time. I just don't. It's like a schizo moment to teach him how to
watch your step.
escape his thoughts. And this is already a guy who cannot sit with himself. You can tell just by looking at him, he feels guilty for having bad feelings. And then eject out of
He makes so many big reads on people without
intellectualize them.
Jesus.
So that he doesn't feel them in this case, so that he can please you by not killing you.
You observe something, that probability disappears and it becomes a reality.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I've had some quantum mechanics stuff, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, so like Schrodinger's cat, I think, is the best example of this.
Watch your step.
The experiment called the double slit experiment actually proved that observation.
That one's really weird.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. I always look this up, so I don't even know. I don't think that observation. It's not that Okay. Here's what people think, okay? People think that observation changes reality. And what that means is that when a conscious observer watches something, reality is actually changing. But I'm pretty sure all it states is that you can't know the position and velocity of a particular thing at any point in time because, like, by shooting a photon at it, you're necessarily changing what occurs, right? That's all it means. No? Am I incorrect on that? Or people seem to take it as meaning that, like, human conscious observers are changing reality, and they make it way more spiritual. It's not accurate. It's just saying you can't know the position and velocity of a particle at the same time. You can't know both of those things at the same time. It's impossible. Because like the process of observing something, of shooting photons and stuff, will change like the outcome of one of those things. But people make this very spiritual.
Watch your step.
What do you remember about it?
Double slit experiment. Okay, they shoot electrons through the two slits. If they look at the electrons, they show up on the other side as like in a certain pattern. And if they don't look at it, they show up in a different pattern.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
So what they show up as an interference pattern if you don't look at which of the slits the photon goes through, right? So it's like the bands of light and dark, and then if you observe which slit the photon goes through, then the pattern on the other side. So literally, like what you see depends on where you look. Like if I'm looking at the slit.
Okay, but I think that has to do with shooting photons, right? It has to do with like the changing the system by measuring. It's not just like this is always presented as like human consciousness. You don't even need a human looking at this, right? You can make the observation of a machine. It doesn't have to be a human people. Never find out. Never mention QA. Or always mention it. You can make it whatever you want. But okay.
Then I only see one point of light, and if I'm not looking at the slit, then I actually see an interference pattern. Right?
Yeah, it's bizarre. So what's your interpretation of it?
That consciousness creates reality. It's what the yogis have been saying for centuries.
This is so wrong, but
it's
okay, whatever.
Now, the interesting thing is that if you...
I've never heard that. It's so it's like the first most like misquoted thing relating to quantum mechanics. The second most misquoted thing has to do with the concept of entanglement, where entanglement basically means that you have two particles that are quote unquote entangled. Even if you separate them at an infinite point, by measuring one, you can get information about the other instantly. But when people hear that, they think, oh my god, information travels faster than light. But no, once you've measured it, you've changed it. You can't change one to change the other. That's not what entangled means. Entangled doesn't mean across infinite distances. It just means that it's like you measure the spin of one, you'll know what that
Watch your step.
other is. These are like it's this, and then there's one other thing. Everybody always takes these quantum mechanics concepts and they like make them mean like these spiritual things or like super science things, and it's not. That's not what they mean. But whatever. If it lets people explore fun philosophical concepts, I guess they can.
Watch your step.
Anytime somebody brings up just always be wary, okay? Just be wary, okay?
So now we get to Sanskrit, and this is kind of a roundabout way of getting this idea. So the yogis actually came up with two words in Hindi. One is Maya. Maya means illusion, and the other is Leela, and Leela means play. And so interestingly enough, both of these imply a false experience. But I think what's happened is, on some sense, you had an experience even through psilocybin, and I get to that is giving you a sense that something about
it does mean infinite distance. Yeah, hold on, wait. All I'm saying is that somebody in chat made a really good analogy, okay? If I give you a box of shoes, but I take one shoe out, we can go across the universe, and you can open a box and you can instantly know hypercollexual. You can know that because now you've like actually observed the system. But you can't. There's no way that you can transfer information back. You can't change the direction. Like as soon as you've made the observation, you've gotten that piece of information, and now you're done. That's it. That's all you can do is you can make a single observation. I don't remember if
Watch your step.
for entanglement. I think this had to do with the spin of a particle or whatever, and you can tell the spin of the entangled particle once they've been separated. But you can't transfer information back. We're done right now.
And what happens
Watch your
is
step.
when you're happy, yeah, we'll get to it. When you're happy,
And you
can
know it.
exist in the Leela.
Okay, we're now 11 and a half minutes in. And you are telling Byron that a lot of things. One,
Watch your
you're teaching him
step.
Sanskrit words, which there's no reason for him to know those words or he would. It's almost like a hypnotist technique where you're giving him the sense that like you're teaching him, you're explaining things, you're like the guide in the conversation. And I can understand why you should be guiding it, but you have known him for 11 and a half minutes, and it's like you're you know more about him than he does. You know more about his life than he does, and you're trying to explain his life to him. And he has literally told you, I think, essentially nothing at this point. And it just seems like a pre-made speech, a pre-written speech.
Okay, hold on. I'm serious. This is the last one.
Run.
Destiny, this key question of quantum sense and quantum mechanics, blah, 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 has nothing in quantum physics talks about a conscious observer. That is exclusively a science fiction concept. We're done talking about it. There has never been anything that I've heard. There's never anything that I've heard of in quantum physics that like when a conscious observer observes something. That's not the case. Observation usually just means like adding everything to a system to pull information out of it, right? It is generally the case. It's way, way, way more boring than when a conscious observer watches something. That's okay. Stop. I'm done talking about this. Okay.
Run. Watch your feet.
Given to him, or whatever one he triggered, as if
It's like it's no big deal. It's play. Like let's just have a good time. It's actually just like a video. Like just because yeah, and just because a video game isn't real doesn't mean that we don't enjoy it, right? In fact, quite the opposite.
Yeah, you don't need to know.
Run.
You don't need to know how the game works even to enjoy playing it. You always are trying to figure out how life works.
Now we have to be careful because even though you can appreciate music, which is play, and you can appreciate that nothing is real. When your depression acts up, and I want you to understand depression is like a pattern of thinking within your mind, it takes the things that you know and distorts them. So it takes the fact, it hijacks this idea that you know that the world is like not a real place in some sense. And then it sort of makes you feel like there's no purpose because nothing is. But that's an understanding that doesn't actually mean like anything bad. It's just, that's what the depression does. The depression hijacks your thinking and takes the things that you know and spins them in a particular way that like actually makes you suffer.
We'll probably be able to teach
But
us.
then I
This
was
is a
also
super
saying
smooth
that
groove.
even when I'm happy, and even if I thought reality was an illusion, I can still be happy at those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, but those are.
I feel like in this case, and now I don't know, so I'm gonna make a couple of very strong generalizations here. Warning: this might all be bullshit, and I fully admit that. Okay. Not getting triggered by chat. This might be bullshit. I implore you, proceed cautiously. I'm telling you. Okay. I think it is very, 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 very hard. Maybe bordering on the impossible to understand mental illness without having experienced it yourself. And I've kind of wondered personally, I don't think I would ever say this has to be the case, but I've wondered if you can ever even actually truly treat somebody or talk to somebody if you haven't experienced it yourself. The only reason I say that is because I get worried sometimes that if you don't have a mental illness, it might be possible that you're intellectualizing too much, and you might even try to trick the other person into being able to intellectualize it. Like, the conversation that's happening with Byron right now is a very intellectual one. I don't think you can intellectualize it. I don't think you can think your way through it. It's not like that. Or like, if you can think your way through it, it's in a very, very, very roundabout way of like looking to change habits, to change lifestyles, that will inevitably go back and change how you feel about things. But it's in a very like CBT, very circular triangle way. You can't just like think like, oh, I have a new perspective on my depression now. Like, oh, okay, this is cool. I understand this better. Like I'm gonna not be as miserable anymore. I think that I would argue, I would argue that that's probably not the best way to go about it. I don't think you can intellectualize themselves in these like mental states. So I don't think you can intellectualize it. But
I'm just asked.
Because when you're able to step outside of depression, when you're able to step outside of yourself, you can appreciate that like life can be happy and joyous even though it is real. But when your depression kicks in, you become nihilist.
Oh, I'm just getting absolutely interrupted.
I don't understand. If life isn't real, then what is real? Isn't realness just
the last
relative?
boss anyway. Or second to last boss.
Also, I don't understand telling someone that their life isn't real. I can understand telling someone that you believe life isn't real. But I can't understand telling someone that life objectively isn't real. This doesn't make any fucking sense.
Nihilism is this idea that like life has no purpose and no meaning, so we might as well fuck with it, which actually isn't the case.
Run out.
So first, Rexful, why don't you tell me a little bit about what happens in your mind? Any questions about this?
No, that I followed. I mean, okay.
Any questions about what the meaning of life? You're extraordinarily arrogant. Also, he seems to have thought about it just as much as you have. I don't think he sees things the same way. As you said, you asked him what life is. You asked him to define life. And he said, I'm an organism created by two other organisms. So there's me and we love each other enough to make me. That's what he said. Or like each other. And you now just talk for 5 minutes and you're like, any questions about the new meaning of life that I just told you about? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It does follow that what we see as reality is not base reality, for sure. Because if you think how a different animal, let's say you're looking at ants, they're not going to perceive reality anything similarly to how we do. They perceive reality in a way that helps them survive. And we perceive reality in a way that helps us survive. Right? Like, let's say we have to notice lion running at us or whatever. We have to notice motion more than other things, or like back in the day. And the people who actually saw too many things or saw base reality wouldn't.
So like this is all true, but Reckle is talking about like these are like very high level concepts. Like, they're very far removed from like the concept of right? The idea of like are our senses supposed to report reality to us? These are like interesting questions. I don't think this is an appropriate conversation.
Run out.
Like I don't think we're talking. This is like a philosophy. So it seems a little weird to be in this. But no, this.
Run out.
I mean, I've just explained to you. Yeah, this could just be also, this could be his way of just trying to get like what I want. So he's just having a conversation. Because you're meeting him at a level that he's comfortable talking at. Like,
Run out.
He's thought about it before. You're giving him maybe a different way to think of things, maybe just waiting to have like a more casual conversation.
If the natural selection would favor people who just see certain things more, like the threats.
So now that segues into an important point, which is that
You're not listening to him at all. You're just looking at.
Do people not intellectualize themselves into depression? I would say no. I feel like the mental process is significantly different than being sad. Something that's hard to explain is that
Attack totem.
In all the normal human emotions, there's like a circle of like these are like the things that people
Watch your step.
Anger, sadness, happiness. These are but like the people that are mentally ill, there's like this further level of things that don't feel like anything else that you've ever felt before. I would put like depression as one of these things. Like, if I were to ask you, so if I were to, there are some people that I would ask, what does
Attack
depression feel like? They
totem.
could tell me. But I think if I were to ask a person who's truly like, what does depression feel like? You can try to reach for words like, well, it it's not really any of those things. It's a way tighter, all-encompassing, different feeling that
Watch your step.
becomes like the foundation of all of the other thoughts in a way that just feeling sad. Like, feeling sad is like a thing up here that I can change, but like being depressed is something down here that every single thought I have in my mind is already like tainted by like or even have those thoughts. Like some of these feelings of mental illness are way more all-encompassing.
Attack totem.
I've had an experience in some or I've thought about it and this is like a much deeper. Yeah, it's a much deeper, more foundational experience
Watch your step.
that I wouldn't even call it.
You're just not listening.
Mind is designed.
Attack totem.
It's not actually designed.
Yes.
So this is one of the most simple things that like I think a lot of people. I mean, I disagree with a lot of my colleagues. But my impression of a lot of mental illness
Watch your
is that
step.
it's actually functional, useful mechanisms that
I can think of that.
that are kind of out of whack or hate. So anxiety is a good example of our mind's ability. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was
Why?
just saying on my stream earlier today that
Attack totem.
anxiety actually could get passed on as a trait from natural selection because let's say you're worried someone's going to kill you.
No, we won't teach us, sad.
1,000 years ago survived because of that, and then
Absolutely.
that trait could pass on. Yeah.
So let's just tap into just for 1 second what anxiety is, and I've talked a lot about anxiety. So we're going to talk more about depression today. But what I understand anxiety to be is that anxiety is simply your mind's ability to look into the future and predict problems. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's just the future predicting capability.
So I don't know how he means this. Maybe he's gonna get into this, but I have to go. We're gonna do this conversation. Fuck, I have to watch this. I hope they don't bring this conversation up too much. I don't know what Dr. K's. And you, honest to God, you should probably just believe him over anything. I'll give that forewarning. You should probably just believe him over anything I say. I don't like the describing of anxiety in the mental illness sense, in the same sense as anxiety of like the nervous for a thing sense. Like when I'm anxious for like a school test, I have an exact thing that I know why I'm anxious about. Or if I'm about to go on a scary roller coaster, right? I'm anxious. Physiology, all of this elevated, cortisol, blood pressure, everything.
Stay away from lines.
And I might even have a lot of anxiety long term because of like I've got a lot of tests.
Run.
I've got all this sure, and I know that,
Run out.
right? But I think that is fundamentally different. That is such a different experience than you wake up, the sun is shining, you don't really have any but it doesn't no
Stay away from lines.
no idea. There's nothing to do with what's happening. You don't have anything to look forward to what's going on. Like everything should be fine. But there's just like something that's sitting in your chest.
Run.
That kind of anxiety. I hate. This is always one of my biggest criticisms of psychology. I hate that they use the same words because I feel like that kind of anxiety has nothing to do with like the anxious fight or flight feeling you get about being scared of like scary roller coaster rides and scary. It is like a fundamentally different that isn't even like I guess it's kind of related to like maybe you have like sort of similar feeling in the body, but
Stay away from lines.
in my
Run. Run out.
I did a lot of drugs when I was 30. I've never had mental health issues until I did a lot of drugs, and then the year afterwards, I had some issues.
We might actually be able to
related
do
to
this.
some things. I think I got some.
Stay away from lines.
Oh no.
I was pretty good at like saying the right words. I think that like because people email me, oh this is blah blah blah. But I think I have a little bit of personal experience with stuff. I think it's dramatically changed the way that I personally feel about these. The words I use to say a little bit about that. Also, your mileage may vary. Maybe you have different experiences. It's all. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
gonna want cameras for this thing, I'm gonna guess, right?
Why? Do you think that's important to communicating your message?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to use Halo effect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. How are you feeling since your trial?
I guess babe doesn't want to ever come over and hang out with me, but it's fine, I guess.
Not yet. I mean, the trial kind of got cut off halfway through, so.
Well, whose fault is that? You're the one that goes to bed at like 12:30, okay?
I definitely go to bed at like 3 a.m.
Finally,
Wait,
I
where are you
have
at?
the I can go anywhere in the world. That's the last one? Oh, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you? There you
Is it
are.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, Ty's best is 2. Okay, yeah. Okay, so...
Some people were suggesting that we should have brought on Pisco to be your defense lawyer.
Maybe next time he could be.
That's true.
What do you call what's it called when you perceive a threat where there isn't one? There's a name for this.
Are you being clinical or are you miming?
No, I'm just. Isn't there like a specific term for it? I'm not miming you.
Okay. Like threat perception, like where you're like heightened hypervigilance.
Okay, baby.
Not sure what context you're wanting to use it in, so hypervigilance could work.
Okay, I don't know. Somebody just asked me that question, and I wanted to seem smart by not answering. You fucking failed me, so fuck you.
Well, you wouldn't have seemed smart if I had to give you the word.
Well, I would have seemed smart. They just would have known I was getting the answer from somebody else. So you're actually just.
Well, I would have flipped them.
You don't even know who I'm talking to.
That's what you think.
I'm in your walls.
She does. She says, you're underwhelming. Was, I think, her word precisely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello.
Well, hello.
Oh wait, I can't hear you. Wait, can I hear you now? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Hello, hello.
Guys?
Check, check.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hear
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me? Nice.
Hold on, let me get you guys on the screen.
Me too.
You know what? I'll throw my camera up here too, just so you guys can see who's judging the both of you. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Can I go grab a drink real quick before you guys start screaming at each other?
That would be perfect, actually. I need like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Wait, is there a way to hide yourself on Discord, but not the other people?
You would have to turn off your video, I think, and then you can hide non-video participants.
Well, he wants to keep his video on, so the answer would have been no then, wouldn't it? Been?
Seems like it.
Yeah, seems like it. Go take your 2 minutes. I'll be back when I grab a drink.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Well, alright, I'll stop the chat.
Yeah, you do that. No racial slurs while I'm talking.
Understood.
Actually, it's YouTube, so go crazy. No, don't do that.
Oh yeah. Only in a academic manner.
Exactly.
Hey chat, what's up? Popcorn. Be prepared for boredom. Good. Dr. K arc continues. Yeah. The Dr. K arc is a parabola. We've gone up, and now what goes up must come down. That includes Dr. K, and that includes me. You're mad at Destiny. I'm also mad at Destiny.
You
That's part of what we're going to be talking about today.
There's nothing he can do that's good. Never.
Thank you for the $2. Sent the cowards running already. That's right. No, I don't think they're cowards. I'm not that mad. Just kind of mad. The stream I did with Flamenco, I did not stream with Flamenco yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have any strong preference for a special kind of therapy? No. I think I guess maybe psychoanalytic. I guess I like the therapy where you're more intimate with the therapist.
Whoa.
Emotionally intimate.
Oh.
Aside from Prince, what's your favorite band? Eminem. Is Eminem a band? You mean like band? Portishead. Portishead's my favorite band. Okay. Mr. Girl, how would you describe depression? When I was in high school, my father told me that depression is defending the mother. Basically, that depression is when you are angry and sad or hurt about being mistreated by your parents, but you can't handle thinking that. So you instead create a new worldview in which you deserve to be treated badly, which makes you miserable. So I guess I don't know that I. Well, also I immediately was like, well, that must also apply to defending your father. I could felt like he was wording it that way for a reason. But yeah, I started thinking about it that way, and that rings pretty true to me. That it's not knowing how you feel or why. You instead to make it make sense that you were treated like shit by probably your parents, but something.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Hello.
Hello.
Well.
Hi, guys.
Here we
Where
are.
do we-
The meeting of the
where do we
minds.
start?
The Titans.
Yeah.
In the top right corner, we have Mr. Madman Max, the philosophy slayer. Or, I'm sorry, the psychology slayer and philosophy slayer. In the bottom, we have potentially his next victim. Not so. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves and what brings us together here today?
I don't want to introduce myself, but you can. If you'd like to.
I feel like that introduction was sufficient. Erudite. I'm down for that.
Okay, well. Am I supposed to like tell you guys what to do, or I'm just kind of here to moderate? Do you want to?
Aren't you a mod?
Well, yeah, but like that's like if you guys get out of control. I mean, I guess I can be more active if you need that kind of guidance. That's fine. Max,
I think you should be active because
I will be. Good. I am active. I am active. I'm actively
think-
telling you guys to stop talking now. I'm active. Okay.
Okay.
Max.
5,
Yeah.
4,
Seems to be the case that in the
2,
past you've
1.
expressed some concern, to put it lightly, over how Erudite conducts herself, conversations, maybe even her future practice. Why don't you elucidate some of those concerns, and then she can respond. Go ahead.
I was. I realized I had the same problem with you that I had with Erudite.
Watch your step.
The same problem I have with Tyler. The same problem I have with
And we're all in the same.
Wait, so you me, Destiny, and Dr. K, or me, Destiny?
Hold on, if we're using first names, I'm Steve. Okay, so yeah, Steve.
Yes, so I'm, yeah, I'm angry at all of the same thing. I realized of this kind of protected, wanting to have it both ways, but not really being willing to take a solid stance of where it's going. So, wait, it's where I stand with you. With Kyla, it's where Dr. K stands with you, and Dr. K is where Now, as a doctor, there is a ethical requirement that it's not just a personal frustrating. It's a actual professional requirement that people's lives get to know the patient and they know when and how that relationship can.
Watch your step.
It is a bedrock. And so my problem with you, Kyle, was.
Is he doxing her name?
I think we had a 4-hour conversation of me screaming at you about therapy ethics and you saying the most infuriating
Watch your step.
possible. But part of what was so infuriating about it is that you wouldn't felt like you couldn't have it both ways. You're saying like, yeah, he's kind of blah blah, but on the other hand, blah blah, and like, you know, I think there's some nuance. It just felt really evasive and like this is just such a clear-cut case that you really need.
Watch your step.
And I also I don't think I would have been as mad if you had clearly just said, oh, I think everything Dr. K is doing is okay and good and blah blah blah. And that's fine. I don't think this breaches ethics. And then we could have like a conversation about ethics, but
watch your
like
step.
You're saying, well, it's unethical, but it's not immoral, and that just seems like a super destructive message to send. The idea that you are telling, a lot of people are afraid to go to therapy because they think that therapists don't care. They think that you're paying someone to pretend to care about you and to help you, and they're just going to let you learn to plot it. And
watch your step.
It seems like such a, I mean, so empathetic to what I'm trying to do. Yeah, and then Steve and I tried to do this. I think it's fuck me.
Watch your step.
Where you won't, you get the loyalty and warmth of being like or friendly or whatever we are. But I don't really know what we are. That's part of the problem. But then you also get to kind of throw me under the bus.
Watch your step.
Abusive. But then you also get to do it in a way that makes it sound like you're not really doing it. And then you get to start this rumor about me, about how I don't let my girlfriend have a phone, but you're doing it by asking questions. You're just asking questions. You didn't say it. You didn't start it, but you just think there's like a 80% chance. It's not, or 20% chance it's true, or 30% chance. It just feels like nobody is putting their fucking foot down and saying where anything is or what anything is. How they feel about it.
Watch your step.
And it all goes back to fucking Shaylin. It's the same problem I had in that conversation with Shaylin. It's the same. It's still the doll review. It's all still the doll review. It's still me asking Shaylin like,
go figure.
Will you
Mr. Girl thinks it's about him.
And like just
never would have guessed that.
Every which way I look, somebody's like kind of pulling the rug out from underneath me, and they're like, well, no, I'm not doing that. So and I feel like anyway, back to Kyle, I feel like that in our conversation, part of what you're so far saying about it, is you feel like you don't seem to have like a conversation.
Basically, definition of probably what is therapy in terms of contracts is typically the case in most relationships. Established and signed by both parties, but the idea that definitions themselves are so arbitrary and complex and nuanced, I wasn't evasive at all. I clearly stated
target you.
The problem with that position was inherently nuanced because ethical dilemmas are always going to be this weird push and pull where you have to pick which ethical things you value more. This is why we can train ethics. We have to go through tons of these examples in situations that are like, there's a ton of ethics that are like that all the time.
Can I just want to, I'm going to amend statements if I think you guys have. So, you said that ethical dilemmas will always be. That's not necessary. Ethical dilemmas, but we would always agree that there are probably some issues. Like if you have a 50-year-old male therapist with a 12-year-old female starts fucking up, that's always good. So, and then also, usually they can be willing to, but they're always going to be.
I think, and so Dr. K's case, I think, is extremely born on the foundation that we couldn't get into what is therapy, right? You didn't really want to do therapy. So I think
That's not relevant.
it's absolutely relevant. What is therapy matters because he's not beholden to certain ethics because he's a claim.
It has, but that's not.
Well, here, let's ask this, Max. What is your sense of the plane about Dr. K? Does it involve
Reckful did not know who was Dr. K's.
But so it seems like it's pretty important to what therapy is, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
Well,
If you are allowing
somebody
you get yes, but the reason it doesn't matter is because there's an ethical breach if you allow someone to claim that they are your patient. And even if through some nitpicky definition you manage to argue that he was never his patient, the fact is that he thought he was. A lot of people watching thought he was. So it's still
Watch your step.
So don't we need to kind of get into that for what is
I don't think so. I mean, are you going to claim, Kylo, that you don't know why Reckful thought he was Dr. K's patient?
I'm not going to take that. What I'm going to say is that according to Dr. K, and providing a disclaimer that this is might be sufficient to know that. Now, I agree with you that attribution is insufficient. Sure, I don't. Are you willing to go into like
Watch your step.
Because every time Byron brought up that he was there, every single time Dr. K corrected it, right? And so you argued, I believe, that as a result, he should have just fully terminated the relationship, right?
Yes. I think that if the person you are talking to about their childhood trauma on 6 separate occasions says repeatedly that they are your patient, that you are doing therapy with them, continually making disclaimers, the fact that you have to make more than one disclaimer shows that the disclaimer is not working and this person is still in fact a therapeutic relationship. And whether or not that is technically true, and it's I 100% believe that it was a therapeutic relationship. It is.
Therapeutic relationship isn't therapy necessarily.
I don't think that makes sense or means anything. But even if it wasn't technically, even if you can find some way to spin this so that it wasn't a therapy relationship, it doesn't matter. I think that you are ethically bound to terminate the conversations about somebody's childhood trauma if your job is to establish that you're not in a therapeutic relationship with somebody, then you have to stop doing therapy with them or doing something that they think is therapy with them. It's very cut and dry. You can't do that.
So I guess my question would be, can practitioners at all have intimate close relationships where they talk about in-depth detail? And they have a friend who talks to them about childhood trauma.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
They have friends.
Yeah. How does it not branch into?
Same way.
Yeah. How do you not do that though? How do you not be a therapist if you're talking to a friend or a therapist, registered, and your conversations are
Okay. Well, let's evaluate. This just seems inherently obvious to me that we want to go through hallmarks of a relationship. Let's see. They would have to have a relationship beyond the context of discussing the mental illness of one of the parties in the relationship. So this is going to be a pretty easy slam dunk for me because every single conversation we've ever seen Dr. K have with Byron is actually labeled talking about depression with Reckful. And then for the entirety of the conversation, from start to finish, yes, we don't have no friendships like that, they talk only about Byron suppression. One of the conversations to the end. And throughout the conversation, Dr. K is inserting his knowledge and his expertise, and he, several times, constantly, is making it clear that the purpose of the conversation was actually to Byron with his friend. Now, in a friendship, like, I have friends who like we play Smash together. So we get on the call and Discord and we play Smash. We're talking about like, you know, like Mario and Banjo Kazooie, and we're talking about like the Batman, good movie, and then sometimes one of us will say, oh, you know, I had a really bad week, or I had some problems in my relationship with but even if that person isn't there, we're not doing therapy because it's even if you know the conversation. At times, you can say to somebody like, "Oh, I'm mad at you," like, "Oh, I'm listening to you," or, "I care about you," blah blah. You can have exchanges that could fit into a therapeutic conversation. But to enter this conversation saying that you, again, the damage you're doing to your own career and your own profession and discipline as a whole, unless you just want to be streamer, is like incredible to me. I can't believe that you're going to sit here and start out with this ridiculous straw man where you're implying that you can't tell the difference between therapy and two friends talking.
Okay, hold on.
But the good faith accusation is worse.
So I think
if you said that in good faith,
I
it
think
is worse than if you said it in bad.
Well, no. I don't think she's.
It is better if you're a liar than if you are like this.
No. The problem is that asserting something seems like without explicit justification. So she's probably asking for what the justification is. She's not just going to say
Run.
You've given a pretty clear answer, right? That a relationship where you meet somebody for the sole purpose of expressing emotion.
Target you. Watch your.
The issue is that
Run.
they also know that they talked about games out in the world. They talked about ontology. They talked about Dr. K's dad and all that stuff with Dr. K's
All
dad.
of this was in the context of bringing it back to talking about Byron.
Sure.
The game they talked about in the first sentence.
Watch your.
Byron said that the most important thing is Byron's pride, that no one to wrestle with Byron himself because
Target you.
Dharma. He'll from his star if he wants to stop him depressed.
They talked about like wow. It didn't
Talk
always
about
go back.
WoW
Like, sometimes
as a
it just
5 second, as a 5. No, not really. No, they talked about WoW as like a 5-second introduction to how Dr. K knew Byron already.
Watch your.
I mean,
he does that with every streamer he talks to. He does that saying, "Oh, I was here's this."
Run. Dispel.
would it have been okay if Dr. K decided to use a mentor?
I'm a doctor, and I'm going to mentor you.
Watch your.
In the mentorship, we're going to talk about how to. We're going to talk
Mentorships
about.
are usually one-sided.
Dispel.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a one-sided relationship where I'm gonna treat your depression as your mentor, not as your doctor. We're gonna talk about what medication you take and habits you apply. We're gonna talk about your diagnoses you receive from other doctors, and I'm going to disagree with those diagnoses and actually provide you with a new diagnosis.
Dispel.
And we're going to.
Watch your.
I told him again.
I said, I'm not diagnosing you with borderline, but this is something that's effective in treating this, which obviously mental health spectrum, you can have something like treatment of borderline be helpful because of your diagnosis.
Okay, I don't think you have pneumonia. You just seem
Dispel.
like you might. I think it's relevant. And the treatment for pneumonia is antibiotics, and I'm going to prescribe you a bottle.
Watch your.
Not because I think you have pneumonia. I would say that's a much like the therapy that is a diagnosis. It's just
Do you think? Can I provide a kind of
Dispel.
address that. Because I agree with what you just said. That would sound harmful, right? Like, I'm not saying you have cancer, but there's a certain therapy for depression. Something that I've said oftentimes is
Target you.
oh, like,
Watch your.
I have a lot of trouble dealing with like a feeling that I can never get over. And I might say something like, oh, like I had a friend, she had like
Dispel.
OCPD and dialect behavior. It feels like a skill trait that needs to be tried. Do you think that that would be an okay suggestion for me to make, or do you think that that's like overstepping bounds? Let's say I was a psychologist. But I'm not diagnosing.
Yeah, I think absolutely it's inappropriate. I think that
Dispel.
mentioning a diagnosis
Watch your lip.
as a when talking to people, the patient is going to assume that you're diagnosed. And we know that Byron
Run.
assumes
Keep
you're
moving.
diagnosing him because he tweeted out like a week later, I just got diagnosed with borderline.
Dispel.
And Dr. K said, he said the way to cure borderline is to have somebody love you for 2 years and not abandon you.
Watch
so,
your.
I will be that person for you. And the word so, I'm not saying it's unethical, I'm saying it's a diagnosis. The word so, in that context, means I've
Run.
made the disclaimer.
Keep
Just like,
moving.
I mean, like, again, like, you can reach your hand down somebody's pants and say, I'm not molesting you, but if you
you're doing so well.
saying you're not doing what you're doing doesn't mean you're not doing it. And when you're a doctor, all it does is slap on another ethics violation.
So the issue is, do you think that pneumonia is very similar to the diagnosis protocol or whatever? Borderline? Do you view borderline as an illness? Biomarkers?
Run. Keep moving.
I don't really believe in psychological science.
Target you.
Other than
Wait, what the fuck? Bro, wait. Oh, on the floor. I'm dumb. Sag. I was blacked out.
Absolutely, but
I didn't realize
mental
that
illness
before.
is when a clinician says, I'm taking.
We're still.
I'm
We can
taking-
still do it. It's just fuck, bro.
Run.
Yeah, everybody
Keep
anorexic
moving.
to some degree. Everybody's bipolar, borderline to some degree. It's just a certain. It's just a. Yeah, you hit the threshold.
Yeah, just wipe it out.
So
Wipe it out.
I think he was clearly telling Byron that he has met the conditions for borderline. I don't think he was saying I'm not diagnosing you because he didn't think that Byron was
okay.
borderline. I think he said that
Just
because
chugging out one
he
bite.
was trying to protect himself
19,
from
20 minutes. Couldn't do it the rest.
So
I guess
agree
we
with
can,
kind of the
but
way it's mental illness is that it broadly is mostly a statistical knowledge. Like things are bad enough that now become a diagnosis, but people can be suffering.
that sucks, bro. That we literally had two guys die on the first
that aren't necessarily
on the
like,
first
painful,
section of
right?
that
Like, people
boss.
who a little bit, like,
Totally not needed. That was totally do. I mean, mind you, I didn't genuinely consider.
Well, even to be
the
clear here, I think
thing
Max.
under him.
I think Max. What Max saying is he goes a step farther and he said like there is no such thing as borderline. There's just a huge spectrum of human experience, and once you hit some arbitrary threshold, psychologists call it borderline. But in reality, these are all just where people fall on the spectrum.
Okay, right.
Absolutely.
So the difference between that and pneumonia is that when you have pneumonia, there's very distinctive biomarkers. It's much more biologically traceable. It's kind of like a yes or no situation, right? So when you give somebody a prescription for pneumonia, you say, but you don't have pneumonia, but you know, wink, wink, nod, nod. It's very different than saying like, well, this is this term, borderline. That means a collection of things.
Yes, but
you might not be borderline, but this still would be helpful.
The analogy I was making is not to say that borderline exists in the same way that pneumonia does. My analogy was when you tell someone, I'm not diagnosing you with this thing, but here's the treatment for this thing, and now we're going to do the treatment for this thing. You are going to make the patient think that you are diagnosing with that thing. We have proof that he did make Byron think that he was diagnosing him with borderline. And we also have the context of him saying, I'm not doing therapy with you, wink, wink, and Byron actively winking back and literally saying, right, not therapy, in this kind of sarcastic tone to establish that you telling me that this is not therapy is not, that doesn't mean anything to me. I think it's therapy, and I think you think it's therapy, and we're just doing it in public, and we're saying we don't think it's therapy for liability reasons. Byron was trying to cede his own protection under the law over and say, I'm into ethics to say, I don't need to be protected from you so that we can do this. Give me the experimental drug, shoot it in my veins, give me the Dr. K, basically. But clearly he thought he was being diagnosed, and clearly Dr. K was winkingly diagnosing him.
I wouldn't say that he was clearly winkingly diagnosing it, but I don't think Dr. K maybe was sufficient in clarifying that it absolutely wasn't a diagnosis, because I'm sure you would agree, somebody who's diagnosed with anxiety, if you're along that spectrum of anxiety, the same treatment that would help somebody at this point is also likely going to help this person at this point, right? Anxiety is big about like confronting, exposing yourselves to things that you're afraid, right? And so I would agree that Dr. K could have been more clear in certain distinctions. But I agreed with you in our first conversation of these things. I think there are ethics that he's violated. I do think he did muddy the water. But to say that he
Byron had
did
borderline?
diagnose,
Do you think Byron was borderline?
I have no idea. I never talked to him.
Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not a Trump supporter.
Do you think have you ever talked about Trump having any mental illness?
No, I have not.
So you feel that you need to talk to somebody in order to have an opinion on whether they're mentally ill?
Yes, ideally. So at a professional level, yes.
I'm not talking about a professional level. I'm saying just personally.
So
I'm
you
not
and
asking you to
Destiny could, absolutely. You guys could speculate it out all day long. When
Okay.
professionals come out and say it, it's different. I get that that's where you're going. Dr. K.
No, that's not where I'm going. I'm saying I actually want to know, and it's fine if you can't answer the question because you think it would violate ethics. That's fine. That's different from.
Yeah, I can. It's like a clear APA ethic violation. Like you cannot publicly, as a practitioner.
Yes,
comment
that's
on
fine, but that's
random
saying I'm not going to answer that is different from. I know even if somebody like puts their whole family in a blender and then drinks it, I can't say that person is because I haven't talked to them. Like I get that you can't say it publicly, but you're saying you don't have an opinion.
I want to be clear real quick too, because you changed that a little bit to, do you think Reckful is borderline to, do you think he has a mental illness, for that analogy, just to say that was a little bit different, but.
Right. So I would say mental illness, but I wouldn't say borderline.
I'm not asking you I'm not asking you to say it. I'm pointing out that we because you don't want to answer the question, we can't go down this like.
Well, here, real quick, let's try to reform it. What is the question exactly that you're asking? Are you trying to see if she's willing to say that he has any mental illness at all, or is
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not trying to entrap you. I'm actually curious if you think he was borderline, and that because if you do, then, if you think he clearly seemed borderline, or it's reasonable, then it just seems weird for you to say Dr. K wasn't diagnosing him if you agree with the diagnosis. Or at least don't disagree with the diagnosis, but I get that you don't want to comment on that, so that's fine. Let's just drop it.
Well, I don't think that right now. I don't think the issue is that she doesn't feel comfortable commenting because it's a professional thing. It sounds like she's just unclear what the question is, or I don't understand what the question is right now.
It's probably a bit of both. Like it's at first seems like, do you think Byron had borderline? And my very clear answer is genuinely, I don't know, because remember, I'm gonna have a much more nuanced context. What somebody who's like maybe only worked and like been around borderline people versus maybe somebody who study it, it's going to be different, right? So I'm genuinely saying I'm not fully sure. Like I just don't know if I have enough information.
I need.
Do you believe that answer, or do you think she's like couching it to try to save grace professionally or something?
Would it be better to say I don't have enough evidence?
4, 3.
Okay, how about wait? Can I ask
2,
this?
No, you shouldn't. No,
1.
because you're actually making the violation by saying that. If you want to follow the rules, you have to just say I can't comment on that.
Okay, wait, Carrie. Right, Carrie. How do you pronounce your fucking name?
Hyla.
Okay, would you say right now if you didn't want to say because you didn't feel like it was appropriate for you to speculate professionally, would you say that?
Sorry, can you restate that?
If the issue right now is that you
happening. It's happening.
What's happening?
That you're trying to have it both ways. You're saying I don't have enough information, but also I can't comment. But that isn't coming.
No, it's not.
It is. It is.
No, because
you're saying
because contra positive, she could say I do have it, but I want.
Watch your step.
fine. That would be a
But
perfectly
that
valid
is
answer.
that's also a public comment.
No, it's not.
You're
That's not
commenting.
No,
Okay,
the ethical
reason it's a
violation
violation-
is doing the diagnosis, not saying that there's enough information to have a diagnosis. Like if I were to ask a doctor, hey, let's say that I showed you a guy with like 52 different symptoms of cancer, do you think you'd have enough information to say he has cancer? The doctor might be like, yeah, I think I would. But that's a fundamentally different question. It's like, hey, here's all this stuff. Do you think he has cancer? And then them saying yes or no. Those are fundamentally different questions, even if they seem similar. Asking somebody if they have the appropriate information to make that is different than
problem
asking
is the problem is that you're taking somebody's and saying we all have the same pool of evidence, and looking at it, this isn't enough evidence to make a diagnosis. But that sentence still giving you information about whether or not you think you're correct. You're still answering the question. You're still giving information about your.
I disagree because she could say I've actually watched a ton of modern stuff, and I think I would have enough information to make a diagnosis, but I wouldn't say that publicly.
But she has watched what she has already previously said in public.
So Max, I don't mean this in a really good. I don't think you understand the tactics that are on. Or maybe psychiatrists. I'm not sure.
Okay, chill on that.
Tyler, I don't mean but I think that you don't understand the ethics at all. And it's not that I think you might not understand them. I actually think you don't understand. In fact, I'm positive you don't understand. And when I said it's happening, what I meant is that you're trying to have a both ways. You always want to have both ways. Yes. I think. Okay. This is what what I'm saying is what I'm saying is correct.
I don't have enough evidence.
I think it is
if
correct.
I was willing to violate this, right?
I understand. I think.
Wait, oh my god, hold on. I need you to hold on, because now this is going down a bad path. Not bad because you guys disagree with each other, hate each other, but bad because I think we're genuinely just not understanding the question. Okay, hold on, Max. I need you to make sure we're on the same page here, and then you can go over if you want, okay? Do you acknowledge there's a difference between saying, do you have enough information to make a diagnosis, versus will you diagnose one way or another? Yes, okay. So now what she's saying...
Both are inappropriate.
False.
If you're following the rules, they're both inappropriate.
False. The latter is the only one that is a violation.
Actually, you're wrong.
No, the APA released a statement about this a couple of years ago during the Trump administration when people were doing this. You're allowed to speculate or has enough evidence. Right? But you can't say Trump has X, whatever that would be.
You're allowed to speculate and talk about things.
Let's talk about symptomology.
You're allowed to talk about narcissistic personality disorder generally. But you are not allowed to attribute it to Trump.
You cannot diagnose people that you have never worked with.
Exactly. We both agree on that. The part we disagree is that saying whether or not you have enough information to diagnose still is... Oh, well, I'm convinced now. If you interrupt me while I'm talking and say that I'm incorrect, I want to make it clear that.
And you're also. That's why I'm being really frank.
Okay, I think yes. The premise of this conversation that you asked is that I think you are operating outside of your and I think you're wrong, and you think I'm wrong about thinking you're wrong. So the reason I keep making fun of you for saying you think I'm wrong is I already know you think I'm wrong, and you already know I think you're wrong. So we can just take all of that and just kind of set it aside, because that's the premise of the conversation. Okay, you think I'm wrong, I think you're wrong, we're arguing about it. So every time I talk, from now on, let's just assume that you think I'm wrong, and every time you talk, we'll assume I think you're wrong. And you can let me know if you agree with something I say.
Alright, we could do that, but if you say things enough and practice more carefully,
Okay,
so wait, here, so real quick, hold on, real quick.
By saying that I don't understand ethics and saying that your ethics are
Watch your step.
Okay, hold on. So right now, hold on. Wait. Okay, wait, chill. Okay, right now we have a disagreement about that. So Max is saying that if there was somebody that asked publicly, do you think there's it like, would there be enough for you?
Watch your step.
You saying, I think there's enough, but I'm not going to make a comment on it. So Kyla's saying that wouldn't be enough experiment. Max is saying that would be enough experiment. We have a disagreement of a matter of fact. Unless somebody wants to
It's more of a matter of logic. And
No. It's not a matter of logic. There is no logic at play.
It's
no. It's a
policy.
It's a statement of
logic.
Fact of what is like the APA's actual position.
I believe it is a matter of my position officially in this debate that you're moderating is that it is a matter of logic, and I would like to explain this position wherever you see fit to give me the floor.
Okay, you can do it, but this is going to come down to, I'm telling you, we're wasting so much time you guys want.
I don't want to
spend a lot of time on this. But I'm just saying that unless somebody's willing to link an APA statement or something, that you guys are going to obviously BAM!
Okay, so the problem with making that statement, you say that I do have enough information. You definitely don't have enough information to make a negative diagnosis if you haven't talked to them. Like somebody could have a mental illness on the street. So if you say you have enough information to make a diagnosis or a non-diagnosis, all you're saying is that he's mentally ill and you're effectively making the diagnosis by saying. Unless you think that you have watched so many virus streams that you can confidently say you have no mental illnesses, which is impossible and not true. However, if you are saying that, that's also against the reason the ethics code is there is because the APA doesn't want you going around cheapening the concept of diagnoses by throwing them at public figures because you don't have enough information. And it reduces overall public trust in therapy ethics and in diagnosis like as a tool. I guess like at the heart of what we're learning. And then
What do you mean by negative?
Saying he does not. Saying he does not have a specific. So if you're saying you have enough information to determine this, you're implying either you have enough information to diagnose him over a life, which cheapens the profession, or you're saying I have enough information from watching his life stream to confidently say that he doesn't have a mental illness, which also cheapens the profession. That's why you're not supposed to talk about it and why it doesn't make sense. It is more than
I completely looked away for a second.
If you say, I don't have enough information, you're also causing a new problem where to another observer,
watch your step.
Thinking like, well, I'm not as bad as Byron. So I guess that means that if you're saying that he's not mentally ill, or he don't have enough information to say he's mentally ill, I do a lot of the same stuff he does, and it starts to get people thinking and self-diagnosing and diagnosing each other in a way that it's like not supposed to do or participate.
So you believe, sorry, you believe that just saying a mental illness would be a diagnosis or treatment?
No. But it would imply that are you actually asking me a question?
I am.
Yes, I am wearing the DSM.
Watch your step.
Do you remember what I actually said? I'm very ready to but you're I don't think you're remembering what I said.
I remember what you said. You said two things. And this is why I'm mad at you, and why I'm mad at Steven, why I'm mad at you.
Whoa, what? I didn't do anything?
You didn't do it now, but you do it. I've done it. You've done it too much.
But you're gonna do it later.
You did it last time. You want to say, I don't have enough information, but also, but that isn't. I'm trying to explain that it's not an obvious thing. It's not a super egregious breaking of the rule, but it's still breaking the rule.
Watch your step.
Guiding
So to be clear, that
First death, brother.
Do you understand why I think it's ethical to make a decision about whether the trove of evidence of someone's mental illness is sufficient or not for you to make a diagnosis, even if you're waiting on diagnosis?
I didn't imply that. I distinctly implied the opposite of that.
I'll say it again. Do you understand why I think it is unethical to imply whether the trove of evidence you have
I
is
do not understand. This is not in the APA ethics.
Ooh,
haven't
I should
been
make
find it
that as
anywhere in any
my.
guidelines, so no.
I need to figure out what that
Okay.
thing is.
I have explained it to the best of my abilities. And it's not a major safety term,
AOE incoming. Kill ads. Target you.
For 4 hours. I guess it feels like we're having 2 conversations.
Wait, hold on. We're not having 2 conversations.
AOE
Right now,
incoming.
we just closed the door on that last one, where we seem undecided about whether or not there is an actual ethics violation. Now I'm asking, there's a second. There is no 2. Right now, there's no conversation.
So I believe this whole exchange is 2 conversations. This whole debate is 2 conversations. There's 1 conversation.
AOE incoming.
Did Dr. K clearly violate ethics? We've already had
Target
that
you.
conversation twice.
I didn't think that was what this conversation.
That's not what
I didn't think so either. I mean, if that's the thing we keep fucking talking about. So
No. Hold on. Wait. To be clear, we're not talking about that at all. That's not even. That has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, we have talked about what is therapy versus what is.
Yeah, but all of this was to
what
get
is the diagnosis.
But all of this was to get together Carrie's comments. Kyla's were unethical. That's what the equivalent.
Kyra,
Dr. K.
all of them.
Like that might be like a
Target
side
you.
thing, but that's not really what's an issue there. I don't think Kyla.
Yes, but I think okay. So
Yeah, Kyla has no care in the
that's
world. This is my guess. Kyla, if Max said the worst thing blah 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 about Dr. K, do you give a fuck that he's under the
No,
pressure?
No, I understand. That's not the point. Okay, the 2 conversations I've been having. One is about therapy ethics.
Kill ads.
Dr. K's therapy ethics as they relate to Kyla, because our disagreement about that has created this.
AOE incoming.
Kyla's therapy ethics. And then the other conversation is,
Target you.
what do we do, or how do we handle it? And I think, or how does Kyla feel about the way I handle thinking that she has bad therapy? So
AOE incoming.
we're only talking about 1, that's fine, but it feels like there's another component of feeling like I threw you under the bus, or that I'm not handling this charitably. Like there's a way I could disagree with you, probably, where you
AOE incoming.
confront me and have a modern discussion about it.
Kill
Like,
ads.
wow, that's not what I learned in college, and so I just have a completely different understanding.
Target you.
Yeah, okay, so
Instead, I was
so,
like,
yeah.
you're
my
you're
take
a fucking menace.
Yeah, my take on this conversation is that I don't think the conversation about Dr.
AOE
K,
incoming.
it's not even really about Kyla's comments about Dr. K. Kyla's comments about Dr. K. I think the issue that she has is that you are being hardcore, almost personal
AOE incoming.
and that's what she's trying to do.
Target you.
Absolutely, but I think there's 2 conversations about that happening. Is my criticism
Kill ads.
have merit? You're going to discredit me by saying that I'm wrong, or you're going to say, well, you can disagree with me, but you're trying to
AOE incoming.
Well, but no, like, so again, the reason why I don't fuck you, I'm not gonna ever be able to move you on this, because once you've made a decision, I don't think you can ever be moved no matter how much evidence is presented. This is what I'll say. I think that there's a world where hold on, there's
wait, let's stop with the
Yeah.
let's stop with the ad homs.
I'm not
Even
ad hom, but like
subtle
you have this.
That is an ad hom. Stop. Admit that's an ad hom.
It's
We
not
can
an
stay
ad
on
hom.
this
You've
forever.
decided
It
in
is
your
a-
mind that these are the conversations,
Literally,
and I don't know if I can
think you're
move you on this.
fucking wrong, Steven. I think you're wrong.
Okay,
I
that's
just
fine.
think you're wrong.
That's fine, but
so saying that I can't be moved off a position because I think you're wrong. Don't you think that's a little arrogant?
there are 3 people that are part
I
of
just
this.
disagree with you.
There are 3 people that are part of this conversation, and 2 of them disagree with one another about what the conversation is about. So I mean, it's a strange position. We can say that we agree to disagree.
Wait, no.
Who
is that? Disagree with. I think Kyla agrees with you.
Don't make me die. This is an important key. Most important ever. I can't look at chat. I can't.
I don't think she
I just need a kiss though.
I think that she should be okay. She can just whatever.
I do need a kiss though. It's vital. Otherwise, I might die.
On Dr. K. I think that she's wrong about something. She'd probably be okay. But the clips that I saw were you saying that she's greedy, she only cares about money, she doesn't care about patient. I think that's the issue that she has. Not that you disagree about your analysis of Dr. K. I don't. But she can answer that if she wants.
If that's the issue she has, then why aren't we talking about that? Why wouldn't if that's the real issue, wouldn't she want to start with? So listen, you're a smart guy. I respect your opinion. I disagree with it in this case. And I think it's inappropriate and unfair of you to be attacking me professionally, because I understand this is my profession, I understand you have a bachelor's in this topic, and there's hard to be passionate about it. However, I don't think you're educated enough, and even if you were, you're being really vicious, you know? And like your words have an impact. They have an impact on my life, the audience. Like, there's a way to approach this so that it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. But so far, what we're getting is Tyler's trying to discredit my accent by saying that I am not informed in it, which is fine. And I believe that you believe that, Tyler, but I also think you believe, and you've been talking about this, that even if my attacks are founded, that I should be making them or communicating them in a different way.
This isn't about this is about lying about what I said, characterizing my views so beyond incorrectly that all I can believe is either A,
You're dumb as fuck.
no, you're not. That's common, which I don't think it is. Or it's B, you've engaged in so much self-deception about me and psychology as a whole that you cannot actually and I'm basing this on a 2-hour.
That's that.
Just to give you context from where I'm going.
Okay. The real topic. It's not that I'm mean. It's that I'm lying or wrong about what you even said. It's not that I'm not
you're
even
lying about what I said. You're lying about
Okay. So far, you have not mentioned it. So again, I'm trying to say that
Target you.
two conversations at the same time. You think I'm lying about what? And I'm not saying you should have mentioned it. I just want to point out, as Steven says, what's next on the docket. It seems like we should probably acknowledge that you're not just saying I have no understanding of what therapy ethics are, and that I don't understand them.
I also think that. I just don't care.
I know. Well, if you don't care, then we probably shouldn't have spent.
You brought this topic.
Wait. We've already spent about 50 minutes talking about what I think about therapy ethics. So if you don't care about that, I think you should mention that already. But again, it's all review. There's two conversations happening, and I just want to acknowledge that they're both happening. One is you think I'm lying about you, and one is you think I'm wrong about therapy ethics. And the one you clearly want to talk about more is the one where you think I'm lying about. So why don't we talk about that instead of talking about the
You're sure, but don't put all the responsibility on me. There's 3 of us, 2 of us on this thing in this conversation.
Absolutely.
You can steer it any way you want to.
And I
am steer it in the direction you think. This is totally fine. I was willing to go with the doctor. And you're like, oh, I guess he's still feeling some sort of way about that.
I'm not trying to criticize.
I want to be clear though that it's this is just like you having like this me and Steven it's like secret understanding. But we really talk about your
No, I don't think you have a secret on anything.
To be clear, just on my involvement in this, she messaged me and she said, hey, here's a whole bunch of clips from Max said things. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I think I offered, I was like, do you want me to moderate a conversation between you two? And then I think I messaged Max. And I said, are you going to have a talk with her? And then I messaged her. I was going to send her a talk with her. Something like that. I don't have anything on my part. Well, there might be.
It's just to address the 2 hours of So, probably don't. Probably have context of what I am. Want to outline?
Whatever you...
I'll pose it as a question. I'll just... So, to be clear, you've decided that my beliefs, my rhetoric around psychology, and psychiatrics are not only traversed and harmful, but so much so that you're not even willing to stream with me. not based on what I said, and not based on what I say I believe, but based on what you now think I believe upon rumination. Is this correct?
That there's some that I don't know what you said. Or that
Not based on what I have said, not based on what I say I believe, but based on what you now think I believe.
even things you've said in this conversation, I think, make you radioactive, dangerous, inconvenient. So, yeah, you have said and continue to say that are
Based on essentially, it seems like
Shockwave.
ghost of beings in the cloud of the broad legs of the that I know you know that I do.
You have no fucking idea what I know.
Then,
I think
if you don't remember,
you
it doesn't make
hey,
you any
if
less
you can't make a diagnosis about Byron, you sure as fuck can't make it.
Watch your step.
All kinds of things. All I can tell you is I don't think so.
Do you remember what you said?
Help, sir.
What do you think my belief is?
I remember I was shouting. I think you said that purpose of ethics.
Did I ever actually say that?
It's kind of a weird sentence, so I think I'm paraphrasing. That's what you were talking about. I think you were talking about the difference between something being unethical and something being immoral. I got really upset with you.
Shockwave.
Definitely unethical. It's probably against the rules. You don't think it's immoral. You said one of the differences is that the ethics are like rules. Sure. I said.
Watch your step. Help, sir.
What I said, verbatim, from the transcript, ethics are about protecting the planet, but there's also a necessary relationship between practitioners and insurance companies. For example, there are times where insurance companies say these actions are too extreme to be built in our community. I said ethics must be both. Practitioners and the planet.
Yes.
Right. In your 2 hours of hate, you said that all I care about is insurance, money, and that I am a
Wait, I said all you care about is money.
that I think ethics is all about insurance and all I care about
Shockwave.
is selfish. I'm just concerned with protecting myself. I don't care about my clients. I'm concerned mostly with making it.
Do you have an exact quote?
To have somebody who's ambitious is sitting there saying you're just out to get your money. You know what the bad part is for us if you kill yourself is that it's expensive for us. Also, we don't get to do more sessions with you if you kill yourself. We can't charge you more week after week.
Okay. That is what I'm worried people hear when you carry water for somebody who
What are you doing here?
is culpable.
How did you even get in?
Via their malpractice. I think that when you
Blame my dad. Blame my dad, because I told him I'm unlocking this for Amethyst.
By muddying the waters about what, in my view, about what therapy ethics are for, especially the ethics of whether someone is your patient or not. I think you are
This isn't about what you think.
Like,
this is about
fucked.
what you said.
I didn't get that much.
She got knowing. Oh, and babe said it here. I'm so sorry. I love you so
I saw you playing. I was like, this is gonna be a while.
much. It was gonna be a little bit. That wasn't my fault. I told my pops, yo, don't fucking lock the door. Babe's coming over, okay?
Where's the doorbell thing? So
Because they're redoing the whole thing. Where the fucking doorbell go?
So they don't want me here.
That's all on my
the
pops.
plants are blocking the walkway.
Yep. All of them.
But I knew it was your house.
Are you hungry?
I am hungry.
Okay, let's get food. Okay, I'll be well.